Dave, I realize I'm taking the easy way out. First and foremost, you deserve far better than this from me. I sincerely apologize. I wanted to tell you face to face. I tried several times but was unable to succeed. You need to understand that this is not about you or my feelings for you. I sincerely adore you. Always have. Saying yes to you was the best choice I ever made. Your presence in my life means so much. You are an excellent husband and a fantastic lover, the best father to our children and the best friend anyone could hope for. I'm very proud to be your wife, and I desire more than anything that our marriage can move beyond what I'm about to say. I will not be home tonight or this weekend. I've gone on a date. Yes, it's a date, a weekend getaway. I'll be returning Monday, P. I won't tell who or where. I don't want us to do anything. I'll be sorry. This is our first trip as a couple, and it's a major step for us. This affair between us has been going on for a while. You have not noticed it, nor has it affected you or us. If anything, it's improved things for us. I've been feeling happier. I value everything about you, even the imperfect pieces. It has made us stronger as a pair, but I have to inform you that my heart has wandered. I have fallen for someone else, and it was not on purpose. I need to see where this leads me. I sincerely hope you understand and can forgive me one day. I guess you're upset. I don't know what to say. My feelings are powerful, and I believe that love is always right. I understand how difficult this situation is for you. I accept that things could have gone better, but it is happening. I wouldn't change it even if I didn't do anything. I would always question, what if I can't live like that? Looking back, I realize I should have told you about my decision to open up our marriage. All I can say is that I wanted to protect you. I would have gone ahead anyhow. I was afraid you would get hurt. I figured not knowing would be easier. I never intended to create grief. I sincerely hope you don't believe this is the end for us. I do not want our family to divide. What's done is done. You will react as needed. Maybe you'll desire space or perhaps discuss divorce, but I do not desire that. I still deeply adore you. I think we can work this out. Make a method for everyone to be happy. You are awful. Just so terrible. How could you do it? I can't believe this. I simply can't. Gosh. All of this is a disaster. It's just a complete disaster. You will not say who, but it is a joke. I know just who it is. Oh, yes. It's Lee Davenport, the slim guy, the music instructor at the high school where you work. He always seemed strange to me. Now I understand why you believe I'm foolish, hiding it behind words that don't take sides, making me wonder if it's not a guy. Nope. I cannot bear what you see in him. He looks like he'd topple over with a single puff of air. You might say he's quite in touch. Nope. The guy is all about vegetables for food and cannot tolerate wheat. Or his stomach starts acting up. You had him over way too much, making a huge deal out of his unusual diet. He barely touched anything but, oh, those peas. Peas? Who gets all excited over peas? Gosh. Oh, you stated I didn't notice it, that it didn't affect us or our relationship. But I noticed that the first time I met him, I felt strange, and that feeling persisted. You continued to chat and care for him like if you had been bitten by a love bug. You always had him around for dinner, saying it was difficult for him to make friends. You tried to set him up with girls we knew. They asked me for advice but never listened. Then boom, you said he's gay, which made you like him more. You kept saying he was gay so I wouldn't be upset. But I realized it was all a game. He just had eyes for you. Then, roughly 2 years ago, you became quiet about him, which made me sigh with relief. You think I didn't see the bounce in your step? Or are you being sweeter to me? I deluded myself into believing we were doing better. Dumb me. Maybe I assumed it was because our children were choosing colleges and we would have the house to ourselves. Nope. You wanted your own space and I was right there. Don't you dare say I wasn't concerned. Don't you dare to pretend I wasn't jealous. Don't tell me I didn't go insane thinking about you two during those late-night work sessions. Oh yes, I did. Did you see it? You noticed what it was doing to me. You described my worry as adorable and stupid. You laughed at me for it. You laughed. You mentioned I was insecure. We're simply pals. You would say we're on the same team. It is all in your head. You have nothing to worry about. When I became concerned about the amount of time you spent with that tiny guy, you always had an explanation. Nope. You made it plain that my duty was to trust you, believe you, and be content with the fiction that you'd never hurt me if I remained firm. I'd be in the wrong. You wield that against me as if it were a powerful bomb. We spent the final 2 years of our marriage playing a deadly game. I couldn't say anything because then I would be the evil guy. I didn't call you out since it said I was jealous, clingy, and a nasty, insane man, bad spouse and bad man. You called me childish, not powerful or weak. You even got me to believe it. I honestly believed I was going insane. That was easier to bear than the thought of you causing me so much pain for so long. You even involved the kids in this mess. God forbid I tell the truth. I would be the villain. Our marriage was ruined and our family was split apart. You twisted every ounce of love and faith I gave you. I pushed it way over its limit, and that isn't even humorous. You're a proud, harsh, unpleasant person, and you're still doing it. What type of monster thinks that way? Everything's fine. To hell with you, Stephanie. To heck with you in every manner. I roamed about our house like a trapped animal, yelling in my brain at her, at him. In my mind, I had my hands around his neck, squeezing the life from him. He became purple, his eyes exploded, and he died while Stephanie stood by, begging and crying for me to stop because she loves him. I envisioned him banging his head on the ground and causing havoc everywhere. I hit him, and his make-believe belly broke his make-believe ribs, destroyed his dumb pretend face, messed up his jaw, and I shattered his ridiculous large false glasses. I walked on his make-believe hands, crushing all of his small, bird-like bones and ensuring that he would never play the piano again. Damn that note. That awful note. She is totally out of touch. She's so immersed in her thoughts. She had no intention of discussing this with anyone in person. I know her too well. She's only making herself happy with that thought. She'd have modified the note a dozen times on her computer, selecting just the right words to make it appear as if she's admitting guilt without actually doing so, and making me the bad guy if I couldn't handle her mess. She must have spent several days on it. Days. Then it was just right. She'd have written it neatly on the expensive paper her mother gave her a long time ago, which we'd never used, to make it appear serious and deep, as if it were a love letter or something to preserve. If there's one thing I can take comfort in, it's that I'm not losing my mind. I've been going insane for 2 years. I told myself I didn't see what I saw. I did not believe what I knew, and I didn't feel the way I did. Lord help me, it's almost a sense of relief. So whatever my marriage to Stephanie was, it's over. It's been quite some time. I now know where I stand. I've only been one of her husbands. My thoughts and sentiments may have prompted her to lie to me, but they were insufficient to prevent her from cheating. I don't even count enough for her to actually speak to me. I don't know the truth regarding my own marriage. She is just going to say yes. Okay, I did something wrong, but now it's your fault. And if we split up and everything comes apart, it will be my fault if I don't just accept her cheating and have it thrust as me. Time went by. So came the first huge wave of madness, which erupted quickly and fiercely, yet ignited a fire that would burn for years, if not forever. It was now accompanied by a profound sadness that I had never experienced. How could she? How could she? Was she truly heartless? What does that mean? Did she ever care for me? Not if it meant she had to choose me over anyone else she wanted, I suppose. If she could do this, I didn't truly know her. It's been 22 years together, gone, because she simply had to go after that nasty guy. I couldn't care less about how it would damage me. I wasn't even worth telling until she had no choice. She still hasn't actually spoken to me. I'm just the dumb, stupid husband who gets in the way of her true love. And I'm being dumb if I don't give in, so she'll deal with my distress later, after I've wept it out. Damn, was I that bad? Was there something she needed from someone else that I couldn't provide? Couldn't she have spoken to me about it? If she was upset, couldn't we have tried to make things right? Why did she have to disregard me as if I meant nothing? Why did she so quickly put me aside? Damn it, Steph, how did things get so bad? What shall we do with the house? I don't have another place, not yet. Perhaps that will change. Maybe I'll move. Perhaps she will. How does any of this work? Why did she have to make such a mess? Damn. Oh no, she does not want to mix things up at all. She wants to keep things going as before, still with the jerk. But now she wants everybody to know. Perhaps she'll start staying at his apartment. Perhaps she'd like to relocate him into this house. My residence, my home. Damn it. Also make him live here as if he owned the home. No way. How could she believe that was okay? What is wrong with her? I never imagined feeling this angry. This is sad. This maelstrom of thoughts and emotions. Worry and fear would be so exhausting. I've been walking around the home for hours. I am very exhausted, but I cannot sleep. I haven't eaten since lunchtime, and I'm not hungry. I am surprised I have not thrown up. I considered drinking, but it seemed pointless. I'm already feeling out of it. I realize I am doing what Stephanie wants, allowing my rage to subside while she is away. Then we can converse, and she'll try to get me back under her thumb. No way. She's treating me like a high school student, all fury and pain with no options. She waits until their storm passes before getting them back in line. A big mistake. Steph, I'm not a child you can just handle. I am not someone you can simply talk down to. You can't pretend as if the problem is merely my childish behavior. My feelings are correct and fair. Yeah, now that I think about it, I have a lot of options. I'm in a position where I can accomplish a lot. You would not like. I can ruin your life exactly like you ruined mine. I'm not going to play along anymore. I've just been taking hits. Cornered. Not anymore. I've got the weekend. I have room to make movements. I could draw a deep breath. Slow down. Consider all possible exit strategies. And then I'll formulate my strategy. I was not going to fall for her manipulations. I wasn't going to sit back and let it happen. I do something she would never expect. I needed to do something that would completely throw her off, something nobody would expect from me. So I got into my car and drove off, without knowing where I was going. I simply needed to get away. I wish I knew what to do next. The Diamond Lounge lacked visual appeal, even on their best days. Today, however, was anything but that. At night, however, its many lights transformed it into something resembling a fair, with its bright pink paint and neon touches making it appear showy, cheap, and just the perfect amount of shady. I hadn't been to a strip club in ages. The last time was at Keith's bachelor party, when we were barely old enough to attend. The current dancers were possibly not even born at the time. Heck, some may be as young as Jessica. I was quite unsure about this whole situation. At the door stood a large black man dressed in a tight t-shirt and a suit jacket. Jerome was kind and cordial, and he made it apparent without saying so that he would not tolerate any problems tonight. He accepted my cover fee and allowed me in. Stepping inside was a little intimidating. The music's bass felt like a truck with an engine problem. The area was lit up with red, pink, and flashing white lights. That made me concerned about having a fit. The women were dressed, or rather naked, in ways that hardly concealed anything. Some were topless, wearing only little covers, which was unusual for a Friday night, but it became more common after a few minutes. I went to the ATM in the corner, took out what I hoped was enough cash, and groaned at the withdrawal fee. I took a seat by the bar and ordered my first of 2 drinks from a tiny female dressed in small clothing. She offered me 1s and 5s for my larger bills and tipping. The beverages were subpar, but the dancers made it worthwhile. Ilana was a girl who spun on the pole as if she enjoyed it, then climbed up, flipped, and quickly descended. She came to a halt exactly before the ground, clutching the pole firmly with her legs and keeping her face just above the ground, following her cheerful dance motions on the floor. That taught me more than any book could. Becky was wearing a neck piece with points and allowed guys to tap her rear for $5 every hit. Then came Candy. She wasn't dazzling, yet her movements were like a flag in the breeze. It was so fluid I couldn't believe somebody could glide like that without breaking. It kept me watching. I don't remember how her clothing came off or how much money I dropped, but it was a lot touching her as I handed her money. It felt very silky and lovely. After dancing, the dancers would converse with those who tipped generously, aiming to direct them to private apartments. I didn't capture the attention of the first several, but Candy approached right away. She sat on me, and I realized how tiny she was. She was just around 5 feet tall and incredibly light, but she seemed to fill the area. Her emerald eyes gleamed brightly, even in the pale pink light. "Hi, thank you for the tips. Did you appreciate my dancing?" "Yes, it was great. I have never seen anything like it. I'm happy. Do you think so?" "I am Candy." "What is your name?" "Dave." "Nice to meet you, Dave," she remarked, fluttering her beautiful false lashes at me. Then her eyes met mine, and I noticed something real, just a second. Her professional appearance shattered, revealing something more. She leaned in closer, sat on my knee, and murmured in my ear, "Look, Dave, Ordinarily, I'd sit and flirt, maybe mess with your hair or shirt, then invite you to a private room for a dance. But I can tell when someone's heart is broken from a distance. Her voice had a tinge of southern accent, possibly from Tennessee or Kentucky. I promise I can assist. That is what I do. That is why I am here. You know, all the girls here have stage names. My real name is Cookie. Cookie. Death Ridge Cookies. Is this for real? Yes. And I only tell those I trust because I want them to trust me. I will show you my ID later, which includes my genuine name and address. I'll do this because you don't seem like a bad guy. You don't normally come here. You came here because you are injured, alone, and lost. I can see it. And you need my assistance. Some people rescue cats or volunteer at food banks. I mend damaged hearts. Your wife did an excellent job on you. Yes. Can you tell that I can? It is all over your face. Look at your hand. She took my left hand and held it up. You have rough areas here and there, right where my wedding ring used to be. And the skin in the center is velvety. Your ring has not been off for long, not for years. And it's only been off for a short time. Did something happen tonight? Yeah, I'd left my ring in the car. I wondered if Steph had taken hers off while with Lee. Probably not. She wasn't concerned about betraying our marriage. Why is her ring important to her? She then grasped the other hand. I see you're good with your right hand. Let me check. Despite the limited lighting, she found what she was looking for. Your love line. It is not whole. It pauses and restarts. And it appears like you have 2 children, a boy and a female, twins. Wow. How did you know? Am I mistaken? No. You're right on. Michael and Jessica, they're currently attending college. Good for them. And you? Thanks, I mean it. You're a good father. Where do they study? Mike is at State. Learn how to design buildings. Jessica lives nearby, but in the dorms. She wanted the entire college experience. She's delving into the mind and studying psychology. Cookie nodded and gave me a closer look. A silky arm slipped out. She stood up and took my hand, leading me to a side hallway. Look, I am taking you aside. We have regulations, but forget about them for now. The cost of a dance is $20 and 3 for $50. The curtains remain closed and we have a camera for safety. But it's only a look. Does not save. Jerry will explain the regulations, but you are not just anyone. And I'm not actually here to dance. She pointed to a man behind a counter as we turned a corner. Pay him, and the place will pay me. You can tip more later if you choose. Don't worry about it now. We have bigger projects to work on. It may take time. There's work to do. You've got to tell your story. Let it all out. I'll listen. Make sure you see yourself as a good guy despite everything, and tell you, any women would be fortunate to have you. Then I'll use my skills to cheer you up. She kissed my cheek and took a step back, but she still held my hands. I will change for our hangout. I'll see you in room 3 soon. Go talk with Jerry. She looked over my shoulder at him, nodded, and made a bizarre gesture with her hand. She curled her fingers like she was clutching something, twisted her wrist, and tapped her hand on her chest 3 times before dancing away to what appeared to be the changing area. Perhaps she is putting more pep in her step than is necessary. So you're Jerry, correct? I asked the guy. It's $50 for 3 dances. Another $50 gets 3 more, and so on. He stated it in a monotonous tone, as if he'd said it 1,000,000 times before and didn't give it any attention. The lady might have given the impression that you're looking for a tremendous sensation, but it isn't it. There's no huge thrill. Do not touch the lady here, there, or back there. Keep your clothing on. No injuring, frightening, or endangering the lady. There is no force or dangerous stuff. Act badly and you're out. No money back. I get it. Yeah, 50. I handed him the cash. He seemed to relax and then spoke as if we were friends. Sai has given me the indication that you are one of her special ones. It's sad to hear, but it occurs. You've hit the jackpot, however. She really has something for you this time. 3 songs means you stay until she's finished with you. Congrats. Room 3. I moved the curtain aside. It wasn't quite a room, but more of a small space. There was a solid seat on the wall, tilted back at an angle and topped with ropes or grips. A small table held a pack of cleaning wipes. Great. Behind me, all I could see was a sick Cookie with tiny heart stickers on her bits and a barely visible string. She was completely smooth. She closed the drapes, took a clean wipe, and motioned for me to clean the seat. Open your shirt and empty your front pockets. Why? You haven't done anything, so I'll sit on you while you lie back, and I do not want your keys poking me." Her hair swung to one side, revealing a tiny tattoo on her back. It was an Irish pattern. "I like your tattoo. Is there any significance behind it? Is it a trick or not? It's quite old, used to represent the earth, the sea and the sky, or life, death and rebirth. Some believe it is about 3 parts of a lady, young mother and elderly lady. Then some interpreted it to signify Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. However, for me, it is different. What does it mean to you? Try to guess, but not now. You have 3 tries. You'd have to know me well to make any guesses. Many of my old pals cannot guess. If you're wrong, I'll never admit it, and you will always wonder." She returned my sight with a mischievous expression. "No one has guessed correctly yet." She rose, turned to face me, grasped my hands, and sat down. "Relax. Inhale deeply. Then let it out slowly." She took off her wig. It was a wig to reveal her natural mid-length red hair, and she removed the love stickers from her nipples, which were lighter than I expected. I should wear these, but they are inconvenient for what I do. Special, too. Jerry turned off the camera. "Everything else is normal. Do not fear. I will take the lead." She sat on my lap and rubbed against me, and my body responded beneath my belt. She muttered, "Oh, that feels good." She raised my chin so we could see eye to eye. She kept it there, and we just gazed for a while. This seems strange with someone you don't know well and you'd like to look aside, but she did not let me. Then, after a while, we felt close. She appeared to see inside me as I looked into her. We discovered parts of ourselves in each other. It felt like time had stopped. We were simply there, pleased. Nearby, there was another person who felt similar to us. We breathed together, and I felt her body move alongside mine. That, however, was not the most important consideration. "You're fine, Dave. You are a wonderful guy." Tears filled my eyes. "You are all right. How? You're not perfect. You have flaws just like everyone else. But you're a wonderful guy, a terrific spouse, father, son, and friend." I began crying a lot. Our breathing did not sync now. Mine was a jumble of tears. "You do not deserve what occurred. It is not fair. I'm very sorry. You're a decent guy, a good person, and you deserve to be appreciated. You deserve to be treated better." I cried a lot, closing my eyes and tucking my chin in. I hadn't sobbed this much since I was very young. I felt everything come out of me, and Cookie simply held me gently, letting me know she was there. That is it. Let it out. All of it. After a while, I stopped crying and felt her move higher, pressing my face against her chest. "You still love her," Cookie muttered. "I do. You're not sure how you'll cope without her. That is true. But you're not sure how you'll stay with her. I'm not sure how I can face her. Think about it more. The wife you knew before tonight will look different to you now. You will see her for who she truly is. That's correct. I got it. You're feeling lost right now. Powerless. Everything happened so rapidly and you couldn't stop it. It is beyond your control. You thought you had it all figured out, but suddenly your world is turned upside down, as if everything was a hoax. Exactly. The good news is that nothing has truly changed. Everything is just as it was. You are the only new thing. No more. Knowing is beneficial. You are aware of what is actually happening. You have more control than previously. I suppose so. But you don't feel strong because you aren't sure how to handle what you can do. That is why you still feel stuck. True. Steph acts as if she can simply push me around, and she's not wrong if I don't do what she wants. Everything comes apart, and I'm the one who looks bad for breaking things. Or maybe she'll just say we drifted apart and terminated things amicably. Oh, how lucky she was to have that. Lee was there to be a wonderful friend to her, ready to assist and keep her company when she needed it. Yes, right. That conceals the true story of how she lied and cheated during those years we spent together. It does not matter what she does or says. None of her movements should disturb you right now. She could believe she has you imprisoned, but so what? She's mistaken. There's only one thing that matters now. There's only one thing that truly alters anything. And what is that? It's you. You have all the strength you require right now. She believes you're cornered. She understands you're hurt, but you're getting better. You'll go past it and forgive her, allowing things to revert to their previous state. She expects it to be difficult, but she accepts that it is inevitable. She's prepared to apologize as much as necessary. Throw in some favors. Maybe even give you some independence in the hopes of regaining your trust. But what if that fails? Does she have a backup plan in place? She's arrogant and overconfident. You've never properly considered the options in front of you. Here is the thing. You have an option. Whatever you do is up to you. Steph should prepare to dislike your decisions in the same way as you dislike hers. She doesn't run this show. Yes, you are. What are your thoughts then? What shall I do? Look, I understand you want some guidance in making your decision, but the most important thing is for you to take the initiative. Be in control of your life. Regain control. Whatever you chose, you must be in control. That seems like a plan. Thank you, but there's more to hear. Okay, Dave, I love you. Look at me, Dave. She sat up, placed her palm on my cheek, and asked me to look at her. I love you, Dave. I don't know what to say. Hear me out. I love you. I also adore Mike and Jessica. I adore Jerry at the cash and Jerome at the door. I adore Becky, Mary, and Alana, even though those are not their real names. I adore them. I even adore Stephanie. And I love you. You can love anyone. You can love anyone. Do not be afraid to tell it. Love is good. It's only love. It is a feeling, a bond. It is not a decision. It is not a vow. It is not an act. It's not anything to become stuck on. You can love someone without being with them. It is possible to love someone while remaining physically separated. Some people are horrible news. You can love them but choose to keep them out of your life. Oh, do you adore Stephanie? Yes. Does this imply you're trapped? Or do you have to deal with her nasty behavior? No. Does this imply that you cannot choose anything about her? No. Good. Do you love me, Dave? You can answer yes or no. You're not making me a promise in any case. And I can love you even if you don't say anything back. I see. Yes. I love you, Cookie. Doesn't it make you feel free? You can love without bounds. You may still decide what to do, who to be with, and who to say goodbye to, even if you adore them. I see. Good. Be prepared for greater love in your life. Thanks. I sincerely love you, Dave. You deserve to be loved. That is not nasty. I simply cried. I was at a loss for words. So what will you do? Tears were still flowing, but I felt a boost. I'm going to choose. She kissed me. Good. That was great. That's how you needed to feel. I sincerely adore you, and I'm very proud of you. How are you feeling? Oh, I do not know. Sad, happy, scared, above all, excited, down, mad. All of that. None of that. Just alive. Great. She placed her head back on my chest and allowed me to cry some more. After a while, my sobbing subsided, and she sat up to grab her wig. For the time being, I believe that is sufficient. But hey, this is just the beginning. I am here for you. We're all in, okay? I said it and meant it. Here. She gave me her identification and a card. That was the first and last time I received a card from someone who wasn't dressed. I had no idea where she kept them. That is my true name, my true address, and my actual job. My other task is to be available for calls and texts at any time of day or night. I may not respond immediately, but I will as soon as possible, and we will get through this together. Months, years, even decades from now. It makes no difference how much time passes. Okay, I understand. I looked at the card. Dr. Cookie Death Fridge, with some short titles after her name, taught psychology and sociology at the college. Do you teach in a college? 2 PhDs. She raised her shoulders slightly. Do you know how little money teachers make? The remuneration is poor, and I had hefty school loans. Working here helps pay the bills and more. Plus, I get to study for my job. I've authored 2 books about these kind of clubs. You're filled with shock. You don't even know half of it. She got up, bending in for another kiss first. Your daughter might have attended my class. You mentioned she studies psychology. Inquire about me. It's better that she knows now than later. Then she glanced at me again. Listen, I'm here in your life to assist you get through this if you allow me. But I'm not your girlfriend, okay? I am nobody's girl. I am just me. That's how things go. I love you, and I'm your friend. And yes, I have a romantic life. I can give you love, show that you care, make you feel stronger, she said as she gently stroked my jeans. But that is it. No affection for me. Not now. Not ever. Sorry. She carried her heart-shaped stickers but did not wear them. She thrust her chest forth. Will you give these a parting kiss? Of course. I kissed each location with attention and held her softly. So good. She put the stickers on. Text me right now so I can save your name. We did it. I even took a brief photo for her contact, violating the club's severe policy. Text me later today. It is past midnight. Tell me what you are up to. I'll help you out. We can spend any amount of time outside here. If you have not texted by Sunday, I will call you. She departed. Oh, Jim, I love you. I adore you too, Cookie. Walking out of Diamond Club, I felt on top of the world. That night, sleep did not come. I might have drifted off around 4 a.m. Then the sun awoke me on Friday. It felt the same as the night before. The hardest stuff was still there, just less sharp cookies. The words were like a light of hope. I did very little this morning. Finally, I headed outside. Even though it was a holiday, the tool shop was open, so I got some new locks for my door, both knobs and deadbolts. I could mend them myself. I got extra keys manufactured for Jessica, Mike, and a spare. There are none for staff. She can move in with her new partner. Screw her. I called my girl and said, let's grab lunch. I typically don't bother her on weekends since she's too busy, but she wanted to stay closer to where we live than Mike did. She saw something in my voice while we spoke and adjusted her plans. Fortunato is a typical pizza joint near any campus, but it's a decent one. It's been around for a long time, and you can smell it from a block away. They enjoy using garlic and plenty of cheese, and the restaurant is packed on game nights and weekends with students looking for something fried and satisfying. At lunchtime, it's quieter, almost pleasant. You usually encounter elderly people like me searching for a flavor of the past. I was sitting at a table with 2 diet sodas and some bread. When Jessica walked in, she smiled broadly at me from the entrance, but her smile faded when she noticed my face. She hurried quickly to the table, but she also seemed unsure whether she wanted to get close. She might have left if she had assumed I hadn't seen her father. Hey, okay, what up? I just gazed at her, unsure how to begin. Dad, you are freaking me out. Why don't you share your thoughts? You understand. What? What do you mean? What's happening? This is one of those instances when we need to talk about the difficult issues, the things we are terrified of and wish were not real. I mentioned that she was now only gazing at me. I do not know. What is this all about? Can you start at the top? Do you know where your mother is? She's attending a teacher meeting in New York, right? That is news to me. I handed her the pages Stephanie had written. Jessica read them, crying, while I ordered garlic knots and a large cheese pizza. I hadn't eaten since midday the day before, and I was suddenly really hungry. When she finished reading, she looked at my face and began to cry hard. I let her weep. I lacked the strength to make her feel better. I couldn't offer any comfort. I did not claim it would all be fine. It was not going to be. I only nodded. Yes, sweetie, it's harsh and unfair. My own tears fell upon the table, leaving a lesser mark than hers. I had sobbed so much that I had very little left. We sat silently until the garlic knots came out hot from the oven. Fortunato makes them so delicious. They're large, like cinnamon rolls, and slathered in heated butter with plenty of minced garlic. It appears that a whole garlic had been placed on the plate. I began eating as if I had not seen food in days. Jessica did not finish the meal she started. Voice is still shaking. What are you planning to do? I do not know, sweetie. I kept eating the delicious garlic bread. I only know what I refuse to let happen. And what is that? I will not just let this go. Do you desire a divorce? I don't see another way, sweetheart. I took 2 little white letters from my pocket. I'll change the house locks later today. Here's a new key for you and another for your brother. Give it to him when he comes back. Do not give one to your mother. I will tell her not to ask you. She took them slowly like they were hot. Did you tell Mike yet? I shake my head. I wanted to meet you both face to face. You've arrived, so you're first, but you're correct. It's not proper to leave him out. We can call him right now. You can do it together if you wish. I will do that. She grabbed her phone and hit the screen. When the call began, she stated, Hello, little brother. Stefan. I'd never mentioned who was born first. They were often arguing about which twin was older, so he called her younger sister. It was quite cute. I hope they keep it up indefinitely. I'm here with Dad. There's something going on. Remember what we used to talk about? She said nothing about it last year. Still quiet? Yes. Then no. I am dead serious. A brief pause. He's right here. I am going to put you on loudspeaker. Okay. She dropped her phone with the screen up and pressed the screen. "Hello, Mike. Dad. I'm not sure what to say. This is happening. Are you sure?" She left a note. "Jesse, please read it here. I'm sending it your way." I spread out the pages, photographed them, and sent them over. While doing this, I inquired, "So you two discussed this?" "Yes. It's just us." "So you knew?" "No, we did not know for sure. I am just as worried as everyone else. You two were always sharp. To be honest, I was scared too, but I couldn't express it. Not without assigning blame, not without making it a reality. That was how it felt for us," she explained. "We could not understand what was going on. I thought you and your mother had an agreement. Maybe they didn't want to ponder too hard. Well, just to clarify, there was no deal like that. Your mother made it obvious that I couldn't be jealous or distrust her. That's what hurts the most. I was caught in a falsehood, growing insane and unable to speak about it. It was not a falsehood. Jessie claimed I was the only one who called her Jessie. To everyone else, including her mother, she was Jessica. Mom really loves you. I'm certain of it." Perhaps it wasn't altogether a lie, but it wasn't entirely accurate either. Mike inhaled sharply as he read the note on his phone. No, it wasn't. She agreed. Then the pizza arrived. It was great. They are well knowledgeable about New York-style pizza. I picked a slice, folded it correctly, and almost ate it whole. After eating a little more, I started asking questions. "Did the pupils at your school talk about it?" "They went to the school where their mother works. It must have been strange. Worse, rumors about their mother's relationship with the weird music teacher would spread quickly." Jessica appeared upset. She did not want to discuss. Mike answered, "Yes, Dad." They did. Nobody truly knew. Nobody saw them together or anything, just rumors. Kids would laugh and sketch images for pleasure. Everything was probably made up, perhaps because of how they interacted with each other. Nothing concrete, just some silly child things. I noticed we haven't mentioned his name yet. I said, "Let us just say it. We're all thinking about the same man, right? Go ahead, name him. I know who it is." Mike went first, Mr. Davenport. I nodded correctly. She acted strangely towards him, and he always creeped me off. I shuddered. I'm not sure what she appreciates about him. Jessica was stunned by my angry words. "Ah, well, things are changing for everyone. I never liked him, Daddy." "Good, keep it this way, even more if he becomes your stepfather. I'd be delighted if you showed him you're not comfortable with it every time you saw him." "I won't see him," she murmured, sitting up. "I'm not going to that school anymore. I'm mostly out and about. When it is break time here, I will stay with you. Not her. I'm mature enough to make that decision now. I don't want to make things difficult between you and your mother. She's still your mother, and that will not change." She didn't need to be with her idiotic boyfriend, she insisted, staying firm. "My pick. He's not good. A homebreaker will not be his friend. I am neither. Dad was always a strange guy. More. Now hold up. Before we all jump on that, your mother will argue that I forced you to think like me. Not my goal. I am not just attempting to tell the truth. You saw the letter. You understand how I feel. That is it. That is all." It became quiet. "Okay. We don't seem to be done yet." I let out a breath. "All right, here's what happens next. Steph will return home to discover the locks changed and her belongings in storage. Mike, there's a new key for Jessie. Maybe I'm overreacting because I'm small, but she needs to know I'm serious. After things calm down, I might let her keep the house. Alternatively, she can compensate me for my part. I do not see myself remaining. Nobody enjoys being duped. And that location reminds me of that. My time there feels nasty." "Don't say that, Father. It is true. She played games with us at home." "My place? No. If I said anything, it would jeopardize our safety. I spent about 2 years there faking it, knowing it wasn't okay. Why stay there?" They did not answer. "I need to leave. I've got a lot to do." "Oh," Jessica meant to ask. "Any classes with Professor Deathridge? Heard of her? You mean Doctor's Heartbreak? Is that what they call her?" "Yeah, she is famous. I had her for Psych 101 last term. It was a large class with hundreds of students listening to her talk. There were also 7 or 8 older pupils who helped us learn. I didn't get to know her well, but I'm excited for her more difficult sessions when I'm ready. Why are you asking? Wow, she totally caught me off guard." "I met her once." She looked perplexed for a second before her eyes burst wide open, gleaming brightly. "No way, you did not." "He did not do what?" Mike rushed in, his voice coming through the phone. You met them. Okay, Jesse, maybe. Let's keep it quiet. All right, what's happening? Mike sounded bewildered. Mike, I will call you later, Jesse said, then hung up the phone. Dad, I can't believe you believe this. I guess Cookie isn't hiding her second job. You are joking. That, along with the fact that every guy seems to fall for her, contributes to her celebrity. But she is never seen with anyone. Everyone believes she likes girls. Perhaps she does. I do not know. This is none of our business. Of course not. But I can't go over that. My own father would go to AA. Okay, hold up. You look up to her and can't wait to learn more from her knowing she can dance. So it's all fine, right? They now say that is empowering, so why are you shocked? I met her there. Because you are my dad. Well, I'm not quite comfortable discussing this with you after telling you 15 minutes earlier that your mother had been cheating on me for years. And now I'm the bad guy since I had no one to talk to and nowhere to go when I found out. So I tried something new for myself. Perhaps you'd rather I get really drunk, or worse. Do not even say that. Why not? It appears that those were the options your mother left me with. Sorry for deviating from the usual course, but I'm not going to sit here feeling sorry for myself till she returns and tries to make me feel better about sharing her. She would not. Jessie shakes her head. No, yes, she would. That is what she wants. It appears so, and we won't let that happen, right? No way. And now you're talking to Professor Deathridge? Yes, perhaps she can help us. She sat up upright. Can't believe I'm discussing this with my father, and I can't believe I'm discussing it with my daughter. Is this all new to us? It seems so. You'll be fine eventually, just not right now. I gazed at the pizza. I ate 4 out of 6 slices and barely remember it. Do you want the last bit? No thanks. Did you like it? Take it. I am not hungry. My telephone rang. It was Mike. I responded to Jessie over the loudspeaker. Can you tell me what's happening on? Just finishing up with Jessie. She's here. Sorry. We'll fill you in or she will. You two talk a lot and she could explain better. I do not want to be left out. That is fair. She met one of her teachers. Got that much? Dead Ridge, and your sister found out where I met her. Where is that? The Diamond Lounge? They don't know where it is. I kept quiet, Dad. What is this place? Oh, okay, fair enough. Why were you there? I was trying something unusual for me. I just discovered that my wife of 22 years has been cheating and wanted to continue. I needed to confront her somehow. Okay, I guess I understand. So, what is Jessica's teacher doing there? She is on stage, if you can believe it. She's young, fit, and incredibly attractive. Jessica stated that she also offers pole dance lessons at the school gymnasium. She is candid about occasionally dancing for money. This causes many to notice her, but few know where or when she dances. She stared at me. The Diamond Lounge? Such information might cause a stir at school. Mike remarked, I want to see that. Dad, let's go out the next time I'm home. It's just us. Now this conversation is making me nervous. Did you get any lap dances? Michael, did you? Yeah, Dad, did you? Jessica was having fun. You are just as awful. Tell us. All right, yes, I received 3 lap dances. Yes, I saw her without clothing and she looks fantastic. Yes, I touched her and it felt pleasant. She even held me as I was crying a lot. I might even learn what her tattoo symbolizes. Wow, Mike exclaimed. She has a tattoo, Jess asked. Yes, what is it? Where? Find out on your own. No, I'd rather bug Dad until he confesses. Cheaper and more entertaining. Really, Dad? Mike stated. I can't think of anything that would make Mom angry. What if I'd had a hidden love story for years? I tricked her so she couldn't blame me and convinced her she was going insane. Oh, that's much worse. Thanks. As much as I enjoyed it. Jessica stood up. I need to compose a paper and think a lot. Dad, call me tomorrow. Please let me know how you are. Do you want to eat dinner or something? Sure, but I need your aid. We need to move some of your mom's belongings to a storage facility. Can you arrive in the afternoon? She appeared sad, but consented. Yeah, I'll be there around 3. I love you. I also adore you, Dad. Don't spend tonight alone, okay? I'll stay busy. I've got a lot to do. Oh, yeah, okay. I love you. She left, and I switched my phone to loudspeak mode. Really, Dad? With Jessica? Not here. Was this woman attractive? Very lot. Damn, Mike. Thank you for being there. Love you, son. I love you too, Dad. Don't do anything unusual tonight. Call me as soon as you can. Will do. Bye-bye. I hung up, completed my pizza, and paid. It was a wonderful day, so I went for a walk. The school bookshop was not far away. I went directly to the books after the teacher's instructions. They had cookies. Books were both created by the school. The first covered the signals of desirable desire, being oneself, being seen, and how race, gender, and class intersect in today's environment. The second one, Professor Fun, day work at the university, and night employment dancing. It featured a bold cover with a cartoon of a lady wearing tassels, miniature garments, and a graduation cap. I purchased both. I got back in my car and stopped at a store to acquire some empty cartons. The banks were closed for the holiday, so I accomplished everything I needed online. I called a company that delivers storage units to your location and scheduled one for the following day. Once home, I began working with a tool to install new locks and bolts. I also updated the garage door code. I had to look up the guide online and then go outdoors with a light to fix the dip switches. It was not too difficult. After that, I called Cookie. "Hey, Dave, how is your Friday going?" "Pretty decent." I changed the locks and told my children. "Did you?" "That's a huge step. Good for you." "What have you told them?" "Just the truth." I allowed them to read the letter Steph wrote. It's her own writing, so they know it's genuine. And I announced I was going to end the marriage. "Is that your final decision?" "Unless Stephanie can reverse her actions." "Yes, all right. That is a strong move. Just don't start flinging mud at your soon-to-be ex-wife, okay? If you start criticizing her or attempting to make your children detest her, it will only make matters worse. Especially you. I understand that. All I did was let Stephanie's words speak for themselves. Oh, and they realized it was Lee Davenport immediately. They weren't astonished. The high school students appear to have been discussing it for quite some time. This makes sense. People that cheat think they are discreet, yet there is always gossip. Yeah. It's reassuring to know I wasn't alone in my doubts. "Oh, and Jessica attended your psych class last term. She truly loves you and wishes to take more of your classes." "That's great. I assumed she must have been. Almost everyone takes that course. We had a wonderful conversation. She's planning to come by tomorrow to help me box up some of her mother's belongings. That's characteristic of her." "Did you require assistance?" "I could do it alone, but it would take longer and make me sadder." "Dave, I was not talking about Jessica. I meant I could come and aid you two." "Really? Why? Simply because I want to." "Look, Dave, you're a decent person. I like you. You have to realize your worth. Love and care. I want to show you. For real, can I stop by tomorrow? Help out and meet your child in a relaxed manner?" "Wow. Yeah, I did not see that coming. In a positive way, I hope." "Totally. Yes, great. Prepare for it. May I ask you something?" "Sure. Ask away." "I might not know the answer, but I ask. Why do this? Why choose me?" She paused a little before responding. "Because everyone requires some love and assistance on sometimes. This is your time. To be honest, it's because no one else was as supportive of me when I needed it. You are waging a good fight." "I suppose I am, yeah. Is this why they call you Dr. Heartbreak?" She laughed. "That is still going around. I really like it. Makes me feel like what I do is important. Jessica claims it's because every guy who meets you ends up with a crushed heart, making me blush. You are lovely, and you know it. You're at the pro level, fantastic. You make money as a knockout. True, but only sometimes. When should I come over?" "Jessica will arrive around 3. Perfect. Text me your location and I will be there. And Dave." "Yeah, I love you." She hung up. I finished the final 2 slices of pizza for my supper and drank a drink. I wasn't sure about making the following call, but I knew I would nonetheless. So I stopped thinking and simply did it. I phoned Hal Rambo, the principal of Steph's high school. "David, good evening." "Hey, I apologize for bugging you. I hope your weekend is going well with Laura. I have a few of brief questions if that's okay." "Oh, sure. What up? Is there a teacher meetup this weekend?" "Not that I know of." "Why?" "Steph told our child that was where she would be." "Do you know where Stephanie is today?" "I assumed she'd be with you." "Nope, she is not." "Do you know where Leah Davenport is?" "How quiet was it?" The air was dense with apprehension. "What exactly are you trying to communicate, Dave? I am just asking. If you don't know, that's okay. Sorry to bother you this evening. Say hello to Laura for me." "Dave, hold on. Are you sure?" "I'm not sure of much. Just that my wife isn't present. She left a message stating that she would be out, but did not specify where or with whom, and she told our children something different." "Perhaps it isn't a huge deal. I'm not asking you to reveal any secrets. Actually, it's best if Steph continues to work. She remains proud. The school keeps out of the turmoil, and I won't have to pay as much if we split. I'm only suggesting that you're smart and shouldn't be duped. I'm not sure what to say. You don't need to say anything right now. You're a decent person and a loyal friend. Thank you, Dave. You both. Sorry for troubling you this weekend. Have a nice night. Good night. And hey, look after yourself, okay? I will. Good night. Night. I was so exhausted from the previous 2 days that I fell asleep earlier than expected. I was reading Cookie's second book. I woke up Saturday morning with the heated blankets still on. I took out my laptop and began browsing for divorce lawyers, scheduling some sessions online. The first one I could see came at the end of next week. I made new bank accounts exclusively for myself so they'd be ready when I moved money on Monday, and I tried to read some free instructions online, which were hit or miss and possibly not very helpful. The internet is full of discussions regarding cheaters. Lunch was all about math. The large package with my belongings arrived at noon. I had plenty of boxes and tape available. Cookie was the first to arrive, appearing regular but yet attractive. I remembered her red hair over me, but she looked different now because she wasn't a dancer. It's the artificial eyelash, she explained, as if she knew what I was thinking. They make me look really different. I feel like Clark Kent. Who is the true hero, then? We both are. But you called me a fighter. I even have a cape, so I resemble Batman, she smiled. But my parents are okay, and I'm not rich, so I don't have any nice tools or a hidden spot. Yep, you bet. So, Batman it is, or Batgirl, please. Yvonne Craig was taller than me and had better legs. Nope, not much more appealing, not at all. You're too kind, always here for you. But Dave, you don't have to make me feel good. Her expression was intense. There's no need to brag. Perhaps you adore me. She smiled widely. I still need to exhibit myself, but I'm not sure where to begin. You're doing okay. Just stick to your choices. Choose a powerful option. Stay true. You can't make a mistake like that. That seems like smart talk. It always gets me through. Jessica will be here shortly, just so you know. She figured out how we met right away. I did not inform her. She simply knew I couldn't disguise it. I apologize. For what? I mean, doesn't it seem awkward? She paused and looked me over, top to bottom. Slowly, time stopped still. I could see everything around me, including green grass and tree leaves, and I could hear blood in my ears. She was at my door. We hadn't gone in yet. After a while, it appeared that she knew what she wanted to say, so she spoke quietly but forceful and confident. Did you watch Game of Thrones? No. Okay, never mind. Tyrion Lannister is a very short man. People constantly bringing it out, as if he'll forget. He talks to Jon Snow, who doesn't have a family name, to encourage him. Tyrion's diminutive stature and Jon's lack of a noble name make things difficult. Tyrion advises Jon not to forget who he is. The world will not if you possess it. Nobody can use it to injure you. Even though Tyrion is more difficult to like in the books, their remarks stuck with me. You just questioned if I'd feel embarrassed, if people knew I worked nights as a dancer and days as a teacher. No way, not at all. I am not ashamed. I'm proud of myself. I am proud of what I do. It makes me stronger. I use it for more than simply self-defense. I struggle with it. I am well known in school and on stage. Got it? People will gossip, for sure, but that is up to them. That is their problem. The harsh things, the whispers, the nefarious attempts, they look horrible for them, not for me. If someone tries to use that against me, I can defeat them. Now consider how you can apply that suggestion. Your wife injured you badly for 2 years, didn't care about you, and didn't respect you. And now she demands something that she has no right to. That is her shame, not yours. It's her mess. She did something to you. You could not stop it. However, you can still hold it high like armor. The world will not forget who you truly are. You are injured but did not choose it. That does not have to make you weak or something to hide or be ashamed of. You have been wronged. You can make it your strength. Use it. God. Thank you, Cookie. I understand it now. Say it again. I got it. Once again, I get it. It is mine. My life is mine. I make the proper decision. Then she kissed me in a way that seemed like a promise. Her kisses were frantic. But now this was different. I was actually receiving something. The kiss was intended for more than just taking. It was shared, an offer for me to lead. She pulled me close after the kiss, pressing her cheek against mine. I'll tell you something, she whispered. It's not really a secret. It's quite old, simple yet powerful. When you repeat something 3 times, it sticks. It's like a little magic. It's like saying Beetlejuice 3 times, right? But that's for phoning rather than sticking. You have to be careful with words like that. You never know what might happen. She seemed serious. Cough. Jessica was watching. We hadn't heard her arrive. We stood, ensnared, still close together. I was stuck, could not move. However, Cookie was cool. She acted as if nothing were wrong. "Hello, you must be Jessica. Dave mentioned that you were in my class earlier. Now I remember you, Jessica Jameson. That's correct. It's nice to see you again. How is your schooling going? You just kissed my dad. Yes, he's good at it. Is this okay? Well, tell me. We discovered your father has been in an open marriage for a long time, but his wife did not notify him until now. She's leaving with her love. Far away. This good man is now on his own without her. You and I. We're here to pack up our belongings. I suppose he's free to kiss anybody he wants. Nonetheless, it is jarring. I understand, and I know you've been surprised before. I apologize. There could be more surprises to come. I hope discovering your father's ability to stand up for himself does not surprise you. No. Good. Dad, you have been quiet. Cookie kiss as well. Dad. What? It is true I do not want to know. Even as she spoke, she laughed. We all did. At some point, Cookie let off of me, and we went inside to begin the difficult task of emptying my life. Jessie went to our room to look through her mother's clothes and belongings. I walked into the kitchen to pack her kitchen implements. She had a lot of items that I didn't know how to utilize. We still had the boxes in the attic, so I packed them among the expensive dishes and her grandmother's old dinner set. Cookie transformed into our packing hero, using all of the cardboard, tape, and bubble wrap. Steph, please share your wedding photographs. We have school papers, books, and everything in our office. You don't understand how much you have until you have to pack and move it. At one point, I showed Cookie the note Stephanie had left. She read it as if she'd seen it many times before. As we took a break from the heavy lifting, I presented everyone to a takeout feast consisting of sandwiches, wings, potato wedges, and a refreshing six-pack of beer. Yes, Jessica was just 19, which underscores the minimal drinking age, but our intention was not to become intoxicated. It was just a much-needed respite. We'd been at it for hours, and the day was far from done. During our impromptu meal, Jessie, visibly anxious but full of curiosity, entered into a conversation she appeared to dread but felt compelled to initiate. So she started reluctantly. "Are you two officially a thing now?" Her question made me flinch. Cookie, on the other hand, smiled and accepted the situation. "We are a thing," she said, "but not that type of thing. We have just been pals for a few days. Your father isn't in the correct emotional state to try anything new. And me, I do not pursue romance. So no, this is not what you're thinking. We're not a couple, and that won't change. Right now, I'm just a buddy, a very good friend, and I take delight in being there for him. Dave is a fantastic man, both strong and resilient, and yeah, I do love him." Jessie's eyes opened in surprise at the mention of love, but Cookie carried on as if it were the most logical extension of her statement. During this time in his life, he requires emotional and psychological care. In difficult circumstances, we assemble with those we trust and hope will support us. Moments like these reveal who your true allies are, and they are typically fewer than you thought. So that is who we are. I am here for him because he deserves it, and it is my privilege to meet his needs. Throughout Cookie's explanation, Jessie was taken into her words and nodded in accord. "Wow, okay, yes, thank you. This means a lot to both of us. I'm so thrilled you're here." The dreaded moment had arrived. Jessie, with a tinge of mischief, asked the one question I thought she would avoid. "Are you both sleeping together?" Cookie replied without hesitation. "Not yet. We'll see how things develop." Her cheeky smile reflected my own agitated face. I imagined it would be nice. But even then, we wouldn't be a true couple. I believe that's the most major barrier between us. Dave isn't the kind for a brief, sweet fling, even though he could need one. "I'm right here," he said. We all laughed. "I agree. Really? Why not go into dating?" Jess asked. "Half of our school would line up for you while the other half wishes they could. Don't you feel alone?" "Sure, at times." Cookie appeared to have made up her mind. "But I've got friends. I'm never short of people around me. And if I want to be close to someone, I have people. But I am always on my own, and I have my reasons." We assumed that was all. But then, She removed her top and stood there in a sports bra and shorts looking determined. Jess was shocked. I was frozen. It's okay. He has seen me before. Many have. But Jess, do you two see this? She pointed to a spot below her collarbone. Without examining closely, it was only a small mark. A bullet wound has left this scar. We both stepped back. My last boyfriend shot me twice. Another bullet struck my skull here. She indicated a spot on her head. Lifting her hair under her arm was visible. This is a scar line, approximately 3 inches. There's no hair there. Some of it is white. I can disguise it, but it is always present. My God. Jess scarcely spoke. What happened? That is a story for later. Let's just say I've experienced backstabbing before. I decided long ago not to have any more boyfriends. She put her shirt back on. David is a good and compassionate man. He's both brilliant and sweet. He'll make a girl extremely happy one day. But that girl will not be me. I'm done with that for good. That was evident. We finished the rest of our meal and drank our beer. I went back to work for a few hours, and Jessica claimed she was exhausted and wanted to stop. We accomplished a lot, but there was still more to do. I won't go home. I don't want to leave you alone tonight, Father. I will stay in my room, she said. He is not alone tonight, Cookie said. That was news to me, and my expression must have reflected that. Okay, Jessie replied. Then I'm heading back to my dorm. I don't believe I could handle it otherwise. The two women hugged, and Jessie discreetly told Cookie something. Probably not to hurt me, Cookie promised. They hugged, and my daughter gave me a strange look. Then he hugged me and said, Daddy, I love you. When she went, I realized I was holding hands with Cookie. She grinned as she led me into the bedroom. I meant everything I said earlier. Dave, she mentioned, I love you. If you desire, you can also love me, but do not fall in love with me. I am not here to replace Stephanie. This is not a new love story. Take it for what it is and don't mistake it for something else. So, what is it exactly? I've never participated in a just-for-fun activity before. I am new to this. It's about feeling good, confident, caring, and having fun. She removed her shirt again, feeling brave and enjoying it. I removed my shirt and approached to hug her. She grinned as she opened her arms. I kissed her gently, and she kissed back enthusiastically. You're shaking, she explained. Right? I was. Calm down. There's no need to hurry. I know you're hurting right now. It's okay to feel that way. She just held me. Nothing unpleasant will occur. Nothing you do not want. Nothing to feel horrible about later. Okay, it's been a long time. I hadn't been with another lady in over 20 years prior to that night with you. Even so, there were rules. I felt her nod. Her warmth felt pleasant. I preferred that over thinking about sex. I have a plan. I took her to the edge of the bed and made her lie on top of me. I did not kiss her. Instead, I allowed her to put her head on my chest and place her palm over my heart. My hand made its way between her chest and felt her heartbeat. Tell me about yourself. I said. She tightened up and stopped moving. You're not sure what you're asking? Yes, I do. I believe you have created a lot of walls. You can make Cece love anybody you want, but true intimacy, the type you made me feel, is what I want. That's tougher. That is what is damaged by betrayal. I am still aching, but I don't think you've overcome your pain. I suppose none of us really gets over it. Sharing with you benefited me. I don't believe you have shared much. If you want to help me, allow me to assist you. Let's get near. Perhaps it will benefit us both. Curse you for being correct. I'm supposed to be the shrink, so what are your thoughts? Am I correct? Yes. Sadly so. She shuddered. Just listen. Don't interrupt me while I am speaking. Try not to pass judgment. What you'll hear will not be easy. It's not for me either. You may not want to see me again after this. I'll understand if that happens, but I hope not. I truly like you, Dave. I want to see you overcome this heartbreak. I want to help. If you must, send me away. I'll feel terrible if I let you down. Do not worry. I've opened up for you. It would be very appreciated if you could reciprocate for me. If only it were easy. It's very awful. I assumed it must be. You stay away from love. No. I have a lot of love. I avoid being with someone. Love is simply an emotion. The decision on what to do with it is different. I knew she could feel it. That was what you mentioned a few days ago. You may believe that. I trust you, Cookie. Trust. Isn't that the problem? Love doesn't go away so quickly. Trust does, and it's nearly difficult to cure. I learned the hard way, and I got badly hurt. I did not say anything. So, what can you say after that? Okay, she said after we had both felt more relaxed. Her breath matched mine. Then she opened up. His name was Justin. He was quite attractive. He was tall and thin with pale skin, long, dark, wavy hair, and blue eyes that you could lose yourself in. And I actually did. I loved him completely. I was convinced he was the one for me. And I was supposed to be with him. We hit it off right away. We did not need to converse or date. We were just entirely bonded from that time onward. Just to clarify, I was not new to this. I was 25, single, and enjoyed being free. I have been with a lot of guys. Some might claim there are too many. I was with a variety of guys. I even attempted being around girls, but it was not for me. It turns out that I am not concerned with my appearance. It's really about who they are on the inside. I enjoy things that are complex. Justin was full of surprises, which is probably why I gravitated toward him. He dominated the room with his intensity, but he was also shy, kept to himself, kind of a loner. He was certain of some things, but not sure about others. He knew he could attract girls, but retaining them was difficult. Above all, he was talented, yet inconsistent. Sounds cliched, but yes, he did play music. I know every female loves the rock star feel, but he wasn't simply some guy with a guitar dreaming of starting a band. He was the real deal. Give him any instrument and he'll do magic. He could play strings, sing keys, laugh, or transform anything into a drum beat that got you moving. And he sings like the ocean waves. It had everyone, men, women, and children, completely caught up. He was in a band called the Featherless Bipeds. That seems funny, right? But my, what drama! He lacked commercial acumen, but possessed the talent. The rest of them worked really hard. We're also doing fairly well. But I see a band in which he is the wild one and the others are just trying to stay up. Bobby was playing keyboard and bass. He is also the one creating the plans. He was close to getting them huge, and he had all of the paperwork ready. I just needed Justin to say yes. But Justin always does something, rehab, another music project, or simply not into it. He would disappear for days or weeks. His art was a tremendous load that no one understood. The cashiers eventually became tired of waiting for Justin to calm down. They took a chance on a band that was popular at gatherings, but their patience ran out, and they parted ways. Just as Justin informed the band they were nothing and were dragging him down. The band had broken up for good, and Justin was on his own. We'd been together for over 3 years. A lot when you're young. I fully supported him. Whatever he chooses. If he continued with Bobby and the crew and got a deal, recorded an album, and toured, I was all in. If he wants to form a new band or go solo, that's okay. If he wanted to go to Outer Mongolia to live in a tent and study local singing, I would be overjoyed. If it meant living with him in a bag beneath a bridge, I'd do it. As long as I had him, I was fine. However, Justin overreached in his pursuit of freedom. He was not simply leaving the band, he was ditching his entire life, and I was eager to start over. So, Jim, have you heard of the banks of the Ohio? I do not think so. This is a traditional mountain song. A tragic story. A man loves a woman so profoundly that he can't bear to lose her. He asks her to marry him. She replies no, so he kills her and abandons her by the river. That way, she's always his. That year, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds released the song Where the Wild Roses Grow with Kylie Minogue. It's part of the darker side of these stories. Was the record called Jesus? Murder Ballads? Yeah. My really sad, gloomy, pondering artist guy came up with this idea and felt compelled to carry it out in order to conclude things properly. He couldn't simply leave me. He was unable to let me be a part of someone else's life. So I had to leave. He found a gun. A little inexpensive one known as a Raven. I think he liked that name. He returned to find me knee-deep in my studies, as usual. I stood up to kiss him, hoping to get closer, but he shot me twice. The first shot struck me in the chest, right here. The hole it created was little. Closing required only 2 stitches. I didn't understand what happened at first since the bullet was so little. There was no pain, only a booming noise. It produced a cough sound. Who thought a rifle could do that instead of just bang? Then I felt weakened, kind of ill. Later, I discovered that my left lung had been injured and I was bleeding internally. The bullet passed through my ribs, near my spine, and exited my back. That is why my tattoo hides a large scar. Is this why? Yes and no. That is why I received the ink. But it signifies more than that. I could have chosen any pattern to disguise the scar. Other designs may have been better than the trick, or not, so I won't consider it a guess. Okay, because you did not specify what you believe it stands for. That is exactly why it is there. Do not hurry your guesses. Not yet. The second shot simply clipped my head. You noticed the mark. It wasn't that horrible. Just left a scrape on my scalp. I was lucky. Both shots could have killed me if they had been just slightly off. The one in my chest did not touch any major blood vessels. If the shot had been slightly skewed in my favor, I wouldn't have lived long. The bullet would not have gone through my skull and under my skin. Instead, it would have passed through my temple and into my brain. I don't think Justin had ever shot a gun. He didn't appear to know what he was doing, and he wasn't putting his heart into it like he did with everything but music. But when I saw his aim, everything turned gray. So chilly and meaningless, so vacant, something deep within me. I woke up. I knew it was do or die, kill or be killed. The quick reflex that protected our distant ancestors from massive-toothed tigers kicked in, and my hands were around Justin's neck. I squeezed and squeezed. He wasn't Justin then. He was not the man I loved. I'd go to any length for this person. I would give my life for. He was dangerous. He was the adversary. It was either him or me. I forgot about the gun. He fired a third shot, missed, and I didn't realize my elbows were raised, preventing his wrist from pointing at me. But I wasn't trying for it. I just needed more strength to choke the life out of him. It turns out I am considerably stronger than I appear. I crushed his throat and cinched his neck artery shut. His face turned blue with his eyes and tongue protruding out, but I could not see it. I hung on, pouring all of my effort into killing him even after he was gone. This is how they found me, half awake. I am losing blood. Choking on my own blood, my hands still bound around his neck. It took 2 medics to get me off. What I didn't realize was that he was with another woman. It wasn't the first time, either. I had let it go twice previously. He had her waiting in my car out front, ready to go together. He informed her he was going to get rid of me, then they would travel to Canada. She packed her bags and he stole all of my money. Not that I had much, I was a student. Our place was simple, just some clothes, books, and some musical equipment. She showed up because he was late. Perhaps he got cold feet. She discovered us on the ground. Me? I almost left and frightened out. I called the cops. Funny thing is, her finding us saved my life. If Justin had been alone, I would have left before anyone could find us. She continued saying she had no idea he would try to kill me. I thought he was going to abandon me. Break my heart a little. They did not identify her as his companion in crime since she called them. They considered blaming me for what happened. Maybe I reacted because he cheated and took my belongings and car. Perhaps I lash out and he shot me in self-defense. However, they discovered that I knew nothing till I awoke. On paper, Justin was awful news. There's no genuine job. We moved around a lot, had a few run-ins with the law. I do not have many pals. Most people grew tired of him, quick. He had a drug-related record, should not have had the gun. He possessed it unlawfully. He plainly had a plot to end me. He was much bigger than I was. Performing well in school, I am secure with my scholarship. The DEA assumed no one would believe Justin was the victim, so they claimed I was protecting myself and dropped it. So, Dave, in 3 ticks, I went from sitting calmly at my desk with books to killing the guy I loved with my own hands. I felt her tears fall on me. Her speech had concealed them. I viewed her in a new perspective. She appeared much older, wiser, and stronger than just minutes before. She wasn't only a smart, gorgeous girl with a sharp tongue and a passion for repairing hearts. She was a woman who had been through adversity and been injured, but she remained strong. A fighter formed by her struggles. She had depths I'd never seen before. Looking at her was like staring into deep ocean. Deep down, there was a damaged soul that could not be repaired. I am a beast. I ended someone's life. I would do it again if necessary. If you hadn't, we wouldn't be here chatting. I understand that. You fulfilled your responsibilities. I know you made it through. I understand, but it will never seem right. I let that rest for a while. I can. If you allow it, I will be happy to do it for you. We awoke exactly like that. close together and not fully dressed. I'm not sure if it was because we were too weary, body and psyche, but I had not slept. That has been true for decades. "Good morning," she said. I didn't realize she was awake. "Morning. Thank you, Dave. You were correct. I rarely tell that story." She moved to look me in the eyes. "So you don't regard me as some horrible monster?" "Nope. Even if you weren't a monster, you'd still be the Cookie Monster. And he isn't bad. He's great." She really laughed. "He's been my favorite since I was a child. I always considered him a friend. Perhaps because we share a name, but partly because he seizes life's opportunities with both hands. No guilt, no shame. He's just himself. Always cheerful and at peace. No ego, no chasing. Simply wanting and having." She seemed far away. "You might say Cookie Monster is my hero. Oh, I just wanted to seem cute, not deep." She turned to face me. "Why not both? A tiny joke can nonetheless help us go ahead. See? But we don't need to dig much deeper." Speaking of which, she reached for my trousers just as I was going hard. Someone seems to want to have some fun. Darn, I was torn. Mad with myself for feeling this way. I'm undecided. "That is a difficult decision for you." "Nice." She caressed me and looked at my face. "But something isn't right. Why? It has been a while. You're aware while dealing with someone fresh, and I am still married. Just a part of me. I do not know. Like two wrongs do not make a right. No, it is not it. You are not lying, but you have not gotten to the heart of the issue." She pulled softly, making a jest while still speaking deeply. "You are afraid, making it a huge issue. What up?" I took a deep breath. "I am afraid. It signifies that my marriage is truly over. Moving her belongings, playing with accounts, it's only stuff. Busy work, things that can be fixed. I'm afraid I'll be as awful as she was if I let this go on. I do not want to offer her a reason. I don't want her to think she was correct." "Okay, good. Now that you've said it, how does it feel? Is any of this true?" "No, none of it stands. Would Stephanie mind if you had your own fun while she was gone, spending romantic time with her secret boyfriend? No, no way." "Great. What else?" I simply can't." "Why? Why are you doing this?" "I have told you. I know, and I am very grateful." "Just there it is. You do not desire my help out of sympathy. I did not say that." "No, but you thought so." "Maybe. Okay. You're also mistaken there. Look at me. I am." "No, seriously. Look in my eyes." Our gazes met. Time seems to blur, past, present, and future. Everything is blended together. Her deep, drawing eyes are lit with a glitter. "Do you think this is a pity? Does this resemble charity?" "No. Good, since it isn't. It is because I desire you. It's about respect. I love you, Dave. I'd like to do something for you, because I want to. Because that is the proper thing. There's also time, okay? Did I actually say that? Yes." She was beaming, and that was the last time I saw her face before she introduced me to a new world of happiness. Lord, I believe she even said Om Nom Nom Nom. I served Cookie a brief breakfast of coffee and toast before she went for the day, promising to contact her later that night to discuss Stephanie's return. I spent a few hours packing and discovered that my new bank accounts were ready, so I transferred some funds and scheduled some payments. Mostly, I was just passing the time, avoiding big, difficult problems. "Stephanie, why did you do that? What do I want? What do I need? Can I let go of some things? Can I live with some things? Where will my life be in a year, in 5, within 10? Will I marry again? Why or why not? And what's up with Cookie? How will things be with ladies from now on? Did my wife ever really think highly of me, or did she lose interest over time? Will I be okay?" This time I wasn't mad. I felt relaxed. I felt like I had choices. Stephanie's desire no longer appeared to be so significant, and it was surprising how little it affected me. Jessie contacted me in the afternoon when I was feeling adrift. She offered to take me out for sushi. That seemed weird. I've never eaten sushi, neither did she. But I was prepared to pay. That is what dads do. "Why sushi?" I asked. We arrived in our own automobiles and she was already in the bar. I figured I'd attempt anything. "Do you? How did you express it?" "I'm trying to mix things up. Try something new. I discovered that my mother prefers more than one lover, and my father is going through a lot. He also received raises. Everything has changed. I believe we all need to get out of our old habits." "Okay then, a good idea. Thanks. I sincerely thank you." We headed to our table. We actually had 2 chairs at a large table with others, but there was plenty of room. The menus were lengthy papers on narrow boards, and we read through them till we chose a few dishes, hoping for the best. I didn't want any eel, which made the decision easier, and Jessie disliked shrimp, which reduced the options even more. But I knew I enjoyed the miso soup and the salad with ginger dressing. So she stated when we ordered you in the cookie death fridge? No. Okay, but not really. But also, yeah, I let out a long breath. I've always thought that claiming it's complicated was a lazy approach to avoid face facts. Things aren't that difficult. You're either messing up or not. But now I see why they use it. Still a lazy way out, but it is the simplest thing to produce the simplest result. So what should one say? Wow, I'm not sure, but it pops up, which is as horrible. Come out with it, guy. I am broken. I feel like my world has stopped and I have no idea what's going on. Then this wild lady enters my life just as I'm at my lowest. For some reason, she decides to take me on as a project. She's beautiful, sure. And there's an emotional draw. But she's correct. I'm not prepared for something serious. We all see it, and she isn't interested in that scene either. But yes, something happened. We did not go all the way, but we got quite close. I can't pretend it didn't matter because it did, in a way, but we are not a thing. From what I can gather, this is only a moment in time, a step or, more specifically, a bounce back. I have to say it all feels strange to me. She nodded. As long as you receive that, I don't want you to be hurt further. This will make you more than you already are. She grimaced slightly. It's complicated. It seems to fit, doesn't it? Sort of. However, it seems to lack honesty. You have been listening to her. She values authenticity, talks about it in class. Lots. She's been wonderful to me, I believe. I think so as well. She's pretty cool. A huge deal on campus, but... Remember Dr. Heartbreak? I don't believe becoming stuck on her is a good idea. She has you pegged. You don't really do casual. You never. She trailed off. No, I have never. Whatever you were planning to say never happened. She gave a melancholy laugh. I was about to inquire. You never went behind Mom's back, did you? But I couldn't even say the words. I couldn't even imagine it. Believing what Mom did is difficult enough. No, just so you know. No, I did not do that to your mother. I would never. I'm not suggesting I'm without fault. There are lots of attractive women out there. Yeah, I have seen them. I had some short thoughts, but that was it. Nothing is real. I wouldn't and couldn't. She offered a quick laugh. But you only said you did. Okay, kind of. I became close to someone who was there for me while my wife was busy with her new guy for 2 years, laughing at our vows and expecting me to just cope with it. Our marriage was over the moment she started with that jerk. I was the last to know, so it's finished. You have made up your mind. Looks like it. I've been asking myself challenging questions all day and don't like the answers. I shook my head and blinked gently. All right, there's no easy way to express this. Hold on for a second. Remember the old car? She had to have the Mustang. She bought it without first getting a checkup. I was unhappy, but she would not listen. It turns out it was missing. One of its sections became clogged, resulting in a fire in the front section as she was driving. And you kids were in the rear. Is this what happened? I remember that, but I never understood why the car broke down. Yep, it was simply careless. And we acquired the couch set in that horrible purple color. Terrible. Of course, what I thought didn't matter. I've always enjoyed it. It stuck out. Well, you can have it once we divide everything. Her family never liked me. They were pleasant to my face, but they truly disliked me, especially her mother, because they believe you did not truly dedicate your heart to Jesus. That should make them care about me more, right? As Jesus said. However, they did not listen to him. They listened to Jim Bakker and Pat Robertson. They would rather hate liberals and LGBT people than love their opponents or help the unknown. I got it. Every significant battle with your mother, and we've had a lot of them in 22 years, was me attempting to say no to anything she wanted, and she always got her way, dismissing me even more when I was correct. She had to get past me no matter what, and like a fool, I allowed her. I can't help but feel it's my responsibility for allowing her to do this all these years. She wanted to push me to the maximum, and she did. The sushi arrived. We started softly and then delved in. It was fairly good. I couldn't use chopsticks, so I used my fingers instead. A big deal. It wasn't entirely horrible. We had a terrific time, and we ended up with 2 children. I wouldn't alter that for the world. I would go through it all again. Even if it's difficult right now, I'd rather be here with you today. Oh, Daddy, that's sweet. I adore you. I adore you, too. Most importantly, you and your brother. We continued eating. The cookies with the green goo on top were heated. Not at the Diamond Club anymore. Jessie stated she is either somewhere else or taking a break. Really? How do you know? Some men from school went looking. Figures. But, she didn't work last night. Yes, but they claim no one named Cookie worked there. Well, she does not use her true name there. All of the girls utilize fictitious names. She was Candy on Thursday night, and the person inside called her. See? That fits. I guess it always begins with C. Charlotte, Chloe, Chantel, Carol, Cheryl, Cynthia, Christine, Chiffon, Charlene. I am out of C names. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Yeah, from Greece. Cha-Cha Di Gregorio, the top dancer at St. Bernadette's with a poor reputation. How can you preserve old movie references in your head like that? Hey, this is not an old film. Not like Casablanca or anything. It is. That was, 25 years before I arrived? Okay, maybe it is old to you. What age were you when it came out? I'm not sure, maybe a young 7. So it clung with you like a duckling to the first thing it sees. It got everyone. It was huge. It seems so. You are still unusual. You understand that, correct? She had a point. My brain remembers details about books, movies, and songs for years. I forget what I ate last week, who all my cousins are, and when my doctor's appointment is, yet I remember everything about stories and pop culture. We spent the rest of our meal talking about trivial matters, avoiding themes like Stephanie and Cookie. It was exactly what I needed. I suppose my little girl did as well. She needed to see that I was not falling apart. We called Michael at some time, as one would expect. He picked up on how we were feeling and was funny and boisterous as he normally does. I called Cookie later that night like I promised, so sushi is a thing now. Sushi? Yes, that is a thing. Why? Jessie took me to try it. It appears that we are all attempting to deviate from our normal pathways. Excellent choice. Where have you gone? Ichiban on American Boulevard. Okay, next time I'll take you to Kabuki. That's where the best stuff is. Deal. So I've been thinking a lot about tomorrow, as well as doing a lot of saddening and reflecting on stuff, and I've become really intrigued by a strange and mysterious lady who has decided to make me her project. That was a good thing. Thank you so much, lovely sir. Trust me, she isn't done with you yet. I hope not. I am a mess. It's still a long path ahead. I have patience, but we are starting from a firm foundation. So about tomorrow. Yeah, she caught me off guard with the note, leaving me to deal with the trauma alone. I believe she should get the same. She'll find an empty house, and I'll leave her a note much like hers. I won't be available for her to talk to. Allow her to be angry and shout at herself when I am not present. It is only fair. Is that what you truly want? She expects me to wait for her so she can take control again, and once my imagined tantrum is over, we can chat like grown-ups. Nope. I am not going to do that. I want to surprise her. Is this your choice? This is one of those occasions when you need me to repeat it 3 times. He's a smart guy. Yes. Then yes. This is my decision. I'll leave her a note, lock her out of the house, and put her belongings in storage. She does not get to keep me under her control, waiting to speak whenever she wants, calling my justified fury juvenile 3 times. And it has been decided. Okay then, you're making a solid decision, and I can support you and guide you through it. Have you really composed the note? In my head, plenty of times. On paper? Not really. When you do, keep in mind that shorter is usually better. For greater impact, use fewer words. Didn't you write an entire book called? I looked about for a moment and finally discovered it by the couch. She laughed so hard that she nearly felt bad. She needed to catch her breath. You caught me! That was a painful lesson. Let me share a secret about elegant writing. It is not about making things plain. It's all about showing off your intelligence. That book is for giving other intelligent people something to debate over. If they disagree, you can always say they didn't acquire it because you made it difficult to obtain. Honestly, I only wrote that book once. Then I recreated it in simple English, added some wacky anecdotes, and bam! It sold much more. People admire the first because he appears intelligent, yet they read and discuss Professor Slut. This makes a lot of sense. I'm composing another, this time with real-life anecdotes. in the hopes of shaking off Professor Slut and being known as Dr. Heartbreak. I can't wait to check it out. Be cautious what you wish for. You might be in it. Oh boy, in a positive way. Thanks, I assume so. What will your note say? I'll inform her that I'm not playing her game, that she cannot blame me for our breakup. She was the one who changed everything. I was not asked. That sounds fair. A sad yet suitable ending. I went quiet, and thought struck me. Dave? Yeah. Sorry. I just had a thought. Are you okay? Okay. Just as I said. I do not want to be in this house, Steph. I definitely need more than what you gave me. You chose the easy way out and continued to lie to me. You've never wanted to see me. You had a plan to make me angry from afar, rather than when I was down. You tried to get me to agree with you. Perhaps I was a good husband, I tried. But you are not a decent wife. If this is how you treat me in our marriage, you should not marry anyone. No way. I am not going along with what you want. This may hurt you, but I need to do it for me. You did what you wanted without thinking of us. So I'm doing what I need. I used our split money to cancel our joint credit cards. I transferred half of our money to my own new accounts. I haven't touched our retirement money yet. I'm thinking about how to divide our possessions fairly. I changed the locks at the house, so I don't try to enter unless someone is around. Jessica has some of your clothes and belongings for a few of days. The remainder of your belongings are in a storage facility. Here's the key to the lock and instructions for getting the pod sent to you. You might think I'm acting childishly, that my fury is simply a foolish guy thing. You say your freedom and love life are robust and positive, but when I mention us, you term it old and nasty. You blame me if I can't get over your betrayal. No, Steph. You messed it up. You damaged our marriage by making your own rules without consulting me. As you mentioned, it's been a long time. Our marriage ended when you believed I didn't need to know, just so you know. Yes, I watched that and understand it did not assist. You may have been thrilled to hurt me, but I've been rightfully furious and apprehensive all along. You made fun of me for it, even knowing I was correct. That is not how you treat someone you love. That is not love or respect. That is not how you should treat someone you do not know. When you kept me out of the loop, you stopped considering me your husband, and more like a fool. Looking back, we were never a loving, giving, and receiving couple. It was all about you. I merely went along because I loved you and wanted you to be happy. You were mistaken in thinking that giving in was a sign of weakness. The only positive aspect is the children. I'm not sure what you'll tell them, but I'd go with the truth. If not, then I will. I don't care where you go, what you do, or who you have with you. I do not own you. I am unable to control you. I cannot stop you. But don't seem astonished or angry because things are changing without your permission. We've broken up now. It feels horrible to be left out of a conversation, doesn't it? I'll turn my phone off, just as yours was. Do not call or text. Don't get furious with me for not talking. You were the one who stopped talking first. It is not your decision when we chat. I'm not under your thumb, just as you're not being undermined. I'll let you know when I'm ready to repair things. It's best if we have our lawyers present. Go away, Dave. I wasn't present when she read my note. I wish I could have seen how she felt, but I'm glad I didn't. Did I want her to be sad, angry, prepared to fight, or give up? If I gained joy from her poor mood, I'd feel awful if I felt sad or wished I hadn't. I would be upset if I did not care. That would also be horrible. No way she felt could have made me happy. So I let it remain a mystery. She attempted to call lots, but I switched my phone off. Jessica informed me later. She contacted her crying, startled and saddened, wondering what was going through my mind to kick her out after 22 years for no reason. She suspected I was cheating or something. That changed when my daughter walked up with her belongings and informed her about the note she had placed on the table. Steph was shocked. That is the word Jessie used. She simply stood there, opening and closing her mouth without saying anything. Then she took the bags and boxes that Jessie had brought and left. I did not leave work early. I left at my usual hour and headed to Cookie's apartment. It was an upstairs flat in an old brick building close to the college. There was a lot of bright paint on old objects that were perhaps 100 years old. The floor produced occasional noises. The ceiling has old brown streaks from when the roof leaked many years ago. There were antique, colorful rugs and hangings, as well as a large number of books on shelves that appeared to have come from a second-hand store. Some shelves were just bent pine boards, supported by gray blocks and old milk crates. A beat-up stereo sat on a little lacquered table near the room's perimeter. Half-used candles, brass holders, and rusty bottles sat next to scent-filled burners. The kitchen emitted sweet, earthy aromas blended with garlic, olives, and tomatoes. Cookie appeared to have been learning or teaching all her life. I sat down, unsure where to leave my stuff. The small bathroom was so crowded that there was no room for my toothbrush or razor. She had more unusual jars and instruments in there than a fantasy potion shop. I ended up sitting at her kitchen table with a glass of dark wine, watching her eat her dinner while humming an old song. Then something clicked in my thoughts. I performed some rapid thinking and then had to say, "Hey, Cookie, do you remember when all the grown-ups on Sesame Street assumed Mr. Snuffleupagus was Big Bird's imaginary friend?" "Yes, I do." She halted and glanced off. "They modified it because it could convey the wrong impression about children not being listened to. The creators of the show wanted children to understand that adults should believe them when it comes to distinguishing between reality and fantasy." "That's correct." It reminded me of the puppet show, as did my own debacle with Steph. She kept stating that her adultery was only in my thoughts. That was incorrect. It took them a while on the show to realize that Snuffy was always missed. That was a joke. "Oh, Big Bird, you're so foolish. There is no Snuffleupagus." Franklin, not Roosevelt, held Snuffy Trunk back from leaving to groom his fur before greeting everyone. It was Elmo. I wasn't sure what to say next. "You're correct. It was Elmo. But you remember Roosevelt? Franklin?" She paused, stirring again. "He departed the show when Gordon was changed back in 1975, I said, trying to be cautious. "I assumed you would know about the early 1980s when everyone finally saw Snuffy, but you took me off guard. You must have watched the first seasons when they first aired. Only this explains how you remember Roosevelt." Franklin. She turned back to finish her meal. Bow-tie pasta with a delicious sauce, mussels with garlic toast. It was very wonderful, I told her that. "Thank you," she added with a slight grin. "You were only trying to see if I know my stuff. Smart. Go ahead and ask. All right, how old are you? Your appearance suggests that you are in your late 20s or early 30s, yet your recollections do not match. I'm 54, probably older than you." I couldn't contain my shock. "How?" "Well, let us see. I've never smoked or used hard drugs. I rarely drink solely wine with dinner. Never too much. I eat healthy and consume a variety of anti-aging nutrients. I keep active by dancing and working out 4 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes each. I avoid the sun, and my skincare works nearly like magic, but these are minor issues. A large portion is how I live. I've never had children, and I don't intend to. I preserve a youthful spirit and hang out with younger people, which keeps me going. But the true secret is great genes. My grandparents are all still alive, over 100 years old. I'm not looking a day over 70. By their example, I'm only getting started. That's crazy. What tipped you off? Small things at beginning. Did you know Yvonne Craig was Batgirl alone? That is nothing. You could have seen ancient Batman reruns or just old things. Then you threw out a phrase from Babylon 5. Very awful, but there is at least some balance from the early 1990s. It aired 30 years ago and is rarely seen in reruns or online today. You're either a huge fan of classic shows or you watched it live and just hummed a melody from Grease. So you should remember 1978. It got me thinking. You said Justin attempted to make you an offer 3 years after you turned 25, and you talked about it as if it were yesterday. Not just 5 or 6 years. You were working on a large paper, but now you're a higher-level teacher, not a rookie. You've got a secure location, so you've been doing this work for a while, which takes years. Justin's band was trying to acquire a deal, thus music was still about CDs rather than downloads. And the scar from the shooting is nearly gone. It had to be decades old. It was 1997. She shrugged. I do not make a big deal about my age. Not really, it is not hidden. People don't inquire, though. I let them assume I'm much younger than I am, and I don't change it. I'm still getting checked for my age. She lifted her drink and was tested for this wine. In fact, when the girl at the counter saw my birth year, she did a double take. She believed it was my mother's. Why couldn't I see it when you presented me your ID at the bar? It was dim. You were occupied. I was naked, and most people don't notice unless they look closely. This is something. It happens more often than you believe. People believe that once a woman reaches 40, she transforms into a grandmother figure with silver hair up in a bun, covered in a large, warm towel, constantly cold, sipping weak tea, knitting, and speaking with a melancholy cat. Whoa, I can play that role if you want. I can knit and crochet. I think I have a warm cloth here. I can prepare tea, but Sebastian hides when others come over. Sebastian resembles the cat from the Josie and the Pussycats show. Wow. How did Stephanie believe she could deceive you? It only works for stories. I suppose I can miss a lot in real life. I do not think so. Stephanie must be quite off to think. You're simple to deceive. Well, thank you. I'll take it graciously. Her smile was as radiant as the sun. We did not get close that night. I planned to sleep on the couch, but Cookie said no. She let me share her bed, and we cuddled in our underclothes. I was thinking too much for more. She didn't push. She realized I needed a different type of clothing. The sense of being close grew. The following day, I utilized her shower. I've traveled much for work. I work with transporting large containers via truck, train, and ship, so I'm used to showering in locations other than my house. Cookie's house was unlike any other hotel or bed and breakfast I had stayed in. She had an antique tub with clawed feet that was not designed for showers, but it had one attached to the bottom, which was curved and smooth, a real hazard. It had a shower curtain all around it because it wasn't against the wall. This meant that when you showered, the curtain would blow in and adhere to your legs. I needed to be careful not to let it swing open and spill water everywhere. There was no room for my razor either. Looking at the dozen bottles hanging over the tub side, I couldn't determine if they were shampoo, conditioner, or body wash. No simple soap. Just a bunch of scrubs. She didn't seem to use the shower very often. She might fill the tub at night and have some fun with a sophisticated shower head and its long hose while lying back and soaking in the warmth. But all of this demonstrated that it was her apartment, complete with her belongings, and set up just how she desired. She'd know where everything was, even in the dark or with the help of a few residual candle nubs. Being in the bath seemed as intimate to her as being wrapped in her arms, perhaps even more so. I'm off to work. I set aside my thoughts for a while. I got a lot done that morning. I blocked Steph's phone number and instructed the front desk to keep her out, but she did not come by. She had school, I suppose. I pondered what kind of conversation she would have had with her boss. Following my conversation, Steph left numerous voicemails and SMS. It's all gone now. I didn't want to deal with her because she had left me hanging. Was it the mature thing to do? Maybe not, but it felt right. Totally. I maintained my word and took Cookie out to supper that night. We were going to study about sushi another day because I recently had it with Jessica. We ended up at a steakhouse named Ruth's Chris. I wanted to thank her for everything, for truly saving me. When the server approached our table, she was ready to make the normal small conversation but stopped short. She locked eyes with the cookie and moved closer. "I love you," she said. Cookie's face brightened up. "Liz, I adore you too. When did you begin working here?" "Only 2 months ago. It is not bad. What brought you here? And who is this?" "This is Dave. He's living with me for a while, so he treats me well. I adore him too." "Okay, I get it." She stared at me. "Welcome to our group. We should make up a secret handshake or something. I'm Liz. You could say I was in your shoes roughly 2.5 years ago. More or less, without her. I'm not sure where I would be. You are in good hands. She is a keeper. Nice to meet you, Liz. I suppose we'll trade our rough stories sometime. Sharing is beneficial," she answered, but only to a point. After a while, I realized I was simply feeling sorry for myself. I needed to strike a balance between dealing with my history and starting again. I couldn't have done it without her. She gave a pleasant smile. "Dave is just getting started." Cookie was added. Everything hit him last Thursday. "Oh, Dave, I feel for you. Listen, she is the finest. But if you ever need someone else to talk to, I'm there for you. You need friends, folks who have your back. I've been down that route, I get it, and I'm here for you." I merely nodded in shock. "Now what do you two want to drink?" I requested a wheat beer, and Cookie chose a white wine. Liz raced off to get those, as well as some bread and water for us. Cookie smiled at me. "Go ahead and ask," she said. "Yep, listen, I go way back." She went through a hard stretch, and I was there for her. Just like I am here for you. This is what I do, but I won't go into details. That is Liz's story to tell, not mine. When the moment comes, you can talk to her, share your own stories. She is an open book. There is nothing to hide or be ashamed about. Same here. Here is my rule. No gossip, no secrets, and no lies, no digging into other things. It is about keeping things private, demonstrating respect. Okay, don't go spreading. Talk, agreed? That sounds fair to me? Great, so keep it tight. Yeah, of course. Don't worry. Third time's a charm. Yeah, you received my word. Great. Settled. It felt as if a contract was done in quiet. Okay, not about Liz. As previously said, this is her stuff, but in general, you indicated that you are not interested in girls. I help in a variety of ways. Not only that, yes, it can be part of it, but not necessarily. Every case is unique. To help means to help. To be close means to be close. And yes, I am straight, but I am not rigid about it. Is it wrong to say that is kind of cool? Not if it appears cool to you. It may seem unusual to some, but it does not concern me. Why wouldn't it? Because, wise guy, I adore you. I adore you too. Stephanie was standing at the end of our table, hearing us say, I love you, and seeing us hold hands. Every usual lie that cheaters tell went through my thoughts and almost slipped out. It's not as it looks. Let me clarify, it isn't like that. The only thing that stopped me was the tangle of words in my mouth, so I let Cookie speak first. You must be Stephanie. And who are you? A buddy? She gripped my hand closer. She was still hugging it like a close friend. Dave appears to be struggling with his marriage and in need of a companion. His wife has been unfaithful, and she now wants him to simply accept it. Forgive her and allow her to continue doing it. She stared at me. Is that correct? Pretty much. That is none of your business. Let go of my husband. Which husband? I assumed you had 2 equal spouses. Isn't that what you wrote in your farewell letter? David, who is this? Stephanie, I replied calmly. You just spent 4 days away with your secret other husband, leaving me to deal with a slew of emotions and concerns on my own. And now you're offended that I'm having supper with a friend? You have some nerve. Why are you here? How did you know where to find me? Your phone said Cookie. She checked your location. You two are on the same phone plan, correct? At least on her main phone. The one you're familiar with. She has another one. A secret one for her partner. Don't talk as if I'm not present. Cookie apologized. My fault. Look, Stephanie, I do not mean to make you feel awful. I'm not really mean. I'm only demonstrating how weird your position is. You found someone else. You haven't abandoned him. You intend to stay up with him, regardless of how your boyfriend feels. But now you're upset because Dave was close to another female at a restaurant. Really? You have no right to be upset. You wanted something that was open, remember? I didn't believe he should. He would not. She shook her head and blinked again at me. Dave, you moved quickly. I guess I didn't see it coming. I'm not trying to get back at you, Stephanie, I explained. I am trying to be clear. You and I are done. We ended when you could treat me that way. You stopped being mine in your mind from the beginning. Now I just accept what is real. Well, she stood tall. I am sad you feel this way. If you were better, you might handle things more maturely. Maybe. Consider my thoughts for the following steps. You mean how you thought of me, correct? I was thinking about you. I knew it would hurt. I tried to be pleasant. Keep saying it. Perhaps one day you will believe it is true. You guys obviously have a lot to talk about, observed Cookie. And it's about time. I should go. I agree, Stephanie replied. You should go. But first, tell me your name. I'm Cookie. Cookie? What kind of name is that? Is it your dancer's name or what? No, this is my genuine name. My dance name changed. Oh my God, you're a dancer. You are joking. Oh, this is simply too good. Dave, I can't believe you went somewhere like that. That is funny. That's disgusting. That's very sad. So low. How could you? Do you know what we think about that? Well, that would show me. Just think about what you did this weekend and maybe zip it. How can you speak to me like that? As if Steph and I weren't going to throw down cookies. I said I'd answer you. My name came from my great-great-grandfather. He ran the lunch wagon on large cattle drives in Oregon. Stephanie simply stared at her. I swear it's far funny than you all realize. She continued going. Really? When my mother was expecting me, she joked about having a bun in the oven. My father thought I'd be sweeter than a bun. More like a cookie. And it simply stuck. They considered other names. I could have been Jennifer, like half the females born that year, Melissa or Stephanie. But every time they decided on a name, they returned to calling me Cookie. They gave in and made it official on my birth certificate, which is what they'd call me anyhow. I love it. Nobody forgets it, mixes it up, or spells it incorrectly. Steph only scowled silently. That must be about the 600th time I've shared that cookie. Went on. So enough about me. How are you? Me? Oh, just perfect. I'm having a good time because I caught my partner cheating on me with another woman. Thanks. We are not cheating. I have not slept with him, and I doubt he is interested in that. He does not appear to be into quick things. She turned to look at me. Not that I would mind. He's certainly a looker. And I bet he's fantastic in bed. We both received. She intended a specific type of not sleeping together, but her point was apparent. So, what are you calling it? When you hold hands in public and say, I love you, it's just how it seems. Dave is a personal friend of mine, and I care deeply about him. He is going through a difficult period, and I am here for him, as everyone who genuinely cares should be. I suppose you wouldn't want to discuss what you're doing and all that. David, she decided to ignore Cookie because she was losing ground. Stop clutching that lady's hand and return home with me now, and we were still holding hands. Look at that, Stephanie. Cookie spoke clearly. Understand this. I do not claim your spouse, nor does he claim me. I am my own, and I do not accept others as mine. That is always how things will be. I'm not here to take him from you. You're the one who pushed him away. Steph's lips fell as she tried to digest everything. Dave, where in the world did you meet her? I met her at a strip club. I got a lap dance and all. You relaxed down. She teaches psychology at Jessica's college. Psychology and sociology. Actually, 2 PhDs. I also teach pole dancing at a fitness center for pleasure. She winked and slid out of her seat. As much fun as this is, I should leave. I am not the best judge here. In addition, I need to check several papers. She leaned in and quickly kissed me on the lips. You still owe me dinner. See you at home later. Sure, I replied as Stephanie gaped and fumed. Cookie moved away, only slightly swinging her hips. I had to commend her for her restraint. Let's take David home, Steph said. Stephanie, wife, or whatever we are today. I'll be extremely polite. I can't believe I'm saying this, but let's sit down for supper here. I have not yet ordered. We can try the calm, sensible conversation you desired. So you go your way and I'll go mine. But I've had enough of your bossing and telling me how it's going to be done in the end. Last act. If you're unhappy, you can simply leave. It's your choice. Steph slid into her seat. Cookie simply left, frowning. Liz stopped by with beverages and bread, just then. I'll return in a bit. She answered, since you just arrived, and discreetly went. Steph hardly looked up and did not touch the drink. I can't stand her, she said. I understand why. What is there to like, right? She's knowledgeable, accomplished, and interesting. She likes me and genuinely cares. You'd be concerned even if I hadn't been with her yet. If that's the case, it hurts even worse. It feels like you're cheating in your heart. Don't you realize that is just as bad? Oh, was I doing that? I hadn't considered it. Why would you assume this? Oh, come on. Why exactly? I loved you then. She says this to everyone, even to the waitress. No way. Ask her. Her name is Liz. I will. So what about that? See you at home later. I'll be staying at her apartment for a few days. I didn't want to be in our house when you returned. You're in her bed. That is not your business. Really, Steph, you are being unjust. You stated that you love someone else and have for a long time. I never said that. Yes, you did. I never mentioned it was a guy. And I mentioned that it has been for some time. Please, no one is fooled. You've been seeing Leah Davenport behind my back for 2 years, making me look foolish. How did you do that? I never said you shouldn't know. Look, I am not blind. I feel things, and I'm not stupid. I've never thought you were dumb, and it is part of the problem. If you thought I was dumb, how did you think you could deceive me for so long? But you didn't realize everything was fine. I choose not to know. I did not want to watch it, so I spent years resenting myself for having negative thoughts about you. And you've just watched. Heck, you pushed it. I am pleased to see you. I am lost and puzzled. There's no end in sight. 2. You said cheating helped us because it made you happy. No, Stephanie, it did not. I've been sad and blaming myself for far too long. You've been utilizing, neglecting, and betraying my confidence. That is not what a successful marriage looks like. I understand you're upset, okay? I done anything wrong, and yet you act as if it is my fault. Despite my right to be unhappy, you continue to make mistakes and have no intention of changing. Why should I have to deal with this? All right. So things could have been done better. We should act maturely and refrain from making foolish decisions. The lock and storage gimmick was too much. Wow. Do you ever listen to yourself? I'm not the childish one. You're being selfish and you don't realize it. You're used to neglecting children. Well, you can't treat me like any of the other teenagers you encounter. You're being harsh, difficult, and yes, cruel. You don't need to mention that. How is any of this not correct? Why do you make me the evil guy? You are the one acting improperly, not me. You mentioned how amazing a spouse I am, but you have been a terrible wife. Okay, I suppose I have to take that. She started sulking. This is not how I intended this discussion to go. I guess this isn't how I envisioned our marriage going. She was not pleased, more sad than angry. Hello, folks. Liz came back. Quiet. Sorry for butting in, seems serious. Did you decide what to eat yet? Stephanie said, I don't want anything. I came here for steaks. I will take a little steak. More raw than cooked with a large potato. With everything on it. Stephanie will order the tiny ravioli with veal and 2 salads, blue cheese dressing on the side. I am not hungry. I've known you for 20 years and I believe you'll want it when you see it. You love their ravioli. You can eat it here or take it home. You'll be happy. Trust me. She gave in with a slight nod. Okay. Liz left quickly. I know one thing. I started. This whole process is difficult. Not hungry until I am, and then I can't stop eating. The same goes for sleeping and getting things done. I'm all over the place, but I'm glad I'm not losing it. At least I know what is real. I'm struggling, she remarked. Do you think this feels good? Not at all. I hated keeping secrets. I can't tell you or anyone else. I was completely alone. She had a really downcast expression. Don't expect me to feel sorry, Steph. You held secrets because you knew they were wrong. You've been acting really awful, and you know it. However, you will not feel horrible about it. Wow, your parents sure messed you up. Do you believe that shame is a bad sensation that holds you back? That's not correct. Shame can be beneficial. It prevents us from acting badly. It makes you feel guilty if you do wrong things. You know what? What do people who do not feel shame call themselves? Sociopaths. They have no shame. You are talking about empathy, not shame. Sociopaths do not feel empathy. You got it jumbled up. So I'm not receiving much of it from you either. I feel for others. I understand this is difficult for you. I told you that you flushed red when you saw me with the cookie. If you had considered how much it would hurt if I had done this to you, you would not have done it. Really? What if I fell in love with someone else but kept it from you? How would you react if I called you crazy for guessing and laughed at you for being envious while knowing you were correct? Surprise, wrath, and disgust. You didn't feel any of that until now. You did not even want to think about it. It meant nothing to you. She would not look at me. I continued going. How would you react if Michael ended up with a woman who did this? You'd be furious if your future daughter-in-law cheated on him and kept him unaware that she was in love with someone else. Don't get started on what you do. If Jessica's guy had a secret wife, lied to her for years, and then advised her to bear with it and accept being a sister wife, man, they'd never locate him. She remained quiet. Now, what about your boyfriend? Sorry, the other equal partner. You really loved him, didn't you? But shouldn't you desire something better for him than a covert relationship with a married woman that could jeopardize both of their careers? Doesn't he deserve his own love? What about his own wife? Not simply a secret. Some shared time. You're messing it up for him. You've turned him into a housebreaker. She had tears on her cheeks. Damn it. Screw her hubby, I suppose. She has children as well. She was just upset because of her terrible boyfriend. Stephanie, you only care about yourself. You just think of what you desire. You don't care who gets wounded. I suppose that's your thing. Ignore everyone else. This is love, romance. It is worth losing everything, right? Because that is exactly what you have done. You do not have to state it that way. Why not? You are just being cruel. Look at yourself and repeat it again. That's when Liz arrived with the salads. Thank you, Liz, I said. Oh, and I love you. She paused and smiled. I adore you too. Then she walked away. I think we had our own secret code. What the heck? Stephanie responded. It's only words. Liz seems like a cool person to me. I am in love with her. I'm not going to sleep with her or establish a relationship, but I can show that I like her. You can't simply say, I love you like that. She does not mind. Like, I see that. But I don't get it. Why not? Love may be many things. I can love anybody I choose. I can love anyone in the world, if I feel like it. Except for your guy. Forget that person. But everyone else. Sure, why not? Do you still love me? Yes, I do. Do you? Of course, then why are you acting like this? Because I am no longer dependent on you. You broke the bond. It wasn't a mishap. You accomplished it on your own, persisted, and refused to give up. I should get more from a bond. You explicitly said this in your note. I suppose I did, correct? And yes, I meant it. I simply didn't see. I do not know. I was hoping you would be more transparent. It is not about me being open. Then what? God, Steph. If it was only about sex, that could be one thing. If we discussed and created a strategy together. For example, there could have been an absence while experimenting with new things. Perhaps not. But maybe if I had a say, that would indicate I still mattered to you, that we were together still meant something. But we won't know because you didn't do it. You thought. Forget Dave. I don't care how he feels. I am doing it. I was only in the way. You were unconcerned about becoming married. You mean a lot. That's why I can't claim you forced me out. Then you duped me for too many years. You lied, played games, and made me look foolish. I was not your partner, your main source of support in life. I was a joke. You felt I didn't deserve to know the truth about my own marriage. That's how it ended. I was hoping that after all this time together, you would forgive me. Yeah. What's the old line? It is simpler to seek for forgiveness than permission. Right. But that doesn't make it okay. It is still not appropriate for you to do. It's still wrong for you to believe that everything will work out in the end. Sorry. Will not resolve all issues, I understand that. What's done is done. You can try to forgive, which is beneficial for you. Alternatively, you can continue to be angry, which will only damage you. Great. Thank you for your choosing. I let out a large sigh. The issue is you're correct. I will forgive you in the end, but our marriage is still over. It will take a long time. Perhaps you could see other individuals and get some therapy. But I'll forgive you for myself, not you. And it won't happen soon, and not because you want it. It will be when I am ready, my way. You can't ask for that. We may not even be able to communicate by the time I arrive. You won't know. It will not be your business. We don't need to terminate this. I thought we were fine. We were happy, right? You imply that what I don't know won't hurt me, correct? That is dreadful. What if I had cancer and didn't realize it would still harm me? It might kill me slowly. Even if I'm not sick or feel a little weird, I might ignore it for a long. This is what you did to us. You made our marriage cancerous. Telling me could have helped us fight. Not telling. Just let things worsen until it was too late. She was silent. Then Liz, the server, arrived with our dinner. It smelled and looked nice. This looks fantastic, Liz. Thanks. Are you willing to need anything else? Yes, replied Stephanie, the woman in front of me. Did she say, I love you? Yes, I did too. So your girlfriends or Liz stood still, one brow raised slightly, allowing Stephanie to make the awkward moment even more unpleasant. I apologize. I am not trying to be inquisitive. It is just, I need to know what's going on with my hubby. Liz looked at me, and I nodded slightly. That was Cookie Death Ridge. And she isn't anyone's girlfriend. She started. If you're terrified, she'll take your man. Do not be. She tells her friends, I love you, and means it for her. Love is not about romance. It's all about connection. Okay, so it's nothing serious? No, it is certainly serious. It is extremely significant, but it does not imply that you are a relationship. You see, many people believe that saying I love you means we'll be together forever. Get married, have children, and own a home. Saying it feels enormous. Yeah, but love doesn't have to be like that. Love is a sensation. Feelings just come up. You have love on both sides. You have choices about how you want to conduct your life. You are not obligated to act on every feeling. She stared at Steph as if she had just asked a question and waited for a response. Steph looked back, totally lost. It was as if our entire lives had been spent climbing through windows, and now someone had shown her a door. Wow, did that truly happen in Steph's perspective? Was everything so clear? Please include this. Understand that powerful sentiments compel you to get together. Wow, wow. Steph, you dummy. It's no surprise you got into a fling so readily. No wonder you believed you could persuade me to accept it. Wow, this makes so much sense. Liz persevered a few years ago. My guy, the guy I was intended to marry, was dating someone else. We had been together for 7 years. We have yet to take the little step of getting married. He was my perfect match. We had 2 children and everything. Then another woman escorted him away. He left us and moved to Calgary. I was pretty down for a long time. Cookie somehow found me. She made me feel better and saw things differently. I discovered that she does the same thing with everyone. So, yes, she became my friend, and more when I needed it. She was quite helpful to me. I am in love with her. She loves me. It's just the way it is. Steph did not say anything after that. I thanked Liz and she went. Steph experimented with her cuisine. I do not want a divorce, she stated. I still adore you more than anything. I did not want this to happen. I assumed you loved me enough to try. Stephanie, don't you love me enough to try? I love you. That is something you should always remember. But that doesn't mean you can disregard my sentiments and hurt me. You cannot force me to stay by using my love. I never harmed you. I've always adored you. I'm not trying to force you to do anything. I just want things to be how they were before. We have a good life. I do not want to change that. So I should disregard the fact that you are with another man, that you don't love him anymore, that he is not as important to you as I am. No, cannot you see? It's been difficult for me too. I wish I could have informed you sooner, but I knew you would not understand. I did not want to embarrass you. It didn't change my feelings about you. I still love you very much, and he's not more important than you. I believe he is. Being with him was more important than our marriage. You selected him above what we had. He must be more significant. You haven't even considered leaving him. She simply gazed at her dish. She stopped before she could speak. If I told you, Dave, it would be a lie. I couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. You would not believe or trust me. Finally, we have the truth. I didn't imagine we'd jeopardize everything we had. I actually didn't. I assumed we'd be able to handle the shift. We have twins, after all. You cannot say that. Michael and Jessica have not changed our lives. Everything changed once we became parents. It wasn't always easy, but it was worthwhile, right? Despite the lack of sleep, the anxieties, the difficult times, the reduced amount of time we have together, the job, and the costs, having a family improved us. You cannot argue with that. I assumed it would be the same. Michael is my boy. Jessica is my girlfriend. I suddenly thought, damn, are they? Tell the truth, I will check. Yes, they are. I would not do it to you. What you would or would not do to me is not something I place much trust in. I shook my head as if removing dust. If we are a family, they are a part of me, and we all do things together. They were our mutual choice. I embraced becoming a father, the way you embraced being a mother. However, Davenport is an outsider and is not wanted. That is your doing. You went behind my back. I can't stand this child. There's no reason I should. He forced me out of my marriage. I don't, won't, and can't consider him family. Not in any way. You'd better keep him away from me. As I said, another voice within my skull yelled, hate you, hate you. I never said it out, but Steph seemed to understand nonetheless. My stake was exactly correct. We are still tied. Stephanie spoke after eating some of her lunch. You can't just call it done. I will fight this. I'll ask for us to speak with someone. I will make it take a long time. It would be much easier if you simply took that. I'm still here and will not go. You know what? A good plan. Let's talk with someone. I will make it happen. But it won't go as you expect if you believe you can make the conversation or take your side. So you can persuade me to agree to your decision of loving more than one. Think again. No. The purpose of those discussions will be to cleanse your thoughts and help you understand what you did to break us. But that's something I don't want to break. Do you? Then let's see how things proceed. She mentioned that she wanted to see how things went. It was very bad of you to call Hal. What have you told him? This is not about my job. I did not tell Hal anything. I called to inquire about the teacher you informed Jessica about, the one that was not real and to which you did not go. He had no idea. I then inquired if he knew where you were. He assumed you were with me. Well, he asked me today whether everything was okay at home and if there was anything I needed to tell him. He even showed me the notebook for guidance. You didn't mention Lee, right? I might have asked him where he was going. Damn that. You did not need to do that. You did not need to be with him. It's not fair to draw people in. Ha! That is funny. Don't draw people in. Maybe you should have thought about that. Don't try to blame me. It is your fault, Stephanie. If you can't handle what happens next, you should not have started this. Also, Hal isn't stupid. If he hadn't guessed, he would have found out eventually. I bet he heard the rumors. What rumors? Your students have been speaking. It began while Jessica and Michael were in 11th grade. Didn't you know? Stephanie's face turned white. No, this is not true. Ask them. Oh God, I don't want to know. She looked down. Why did you tell the children? Why did you allow them to see the letter I wrote you? I assumed that was only for us, as if our marriage were only for us. Stop. Please respond to me. Okay, I showed them the letter because they must know the truth. I did not want to be portrayed as the villain. You would have told them that we simply grew apart, and Lee was just a friend who became close to you before falling in love and getting together, instead of being open about sneaking around. No way. I would not have done that. Is that exactly what you were planning? No. I want us to stay together while you continue to see him. I believe we can make it work. It has been working for 2 years. You lied to me for 2 years and broke my trust. It's been 2 years of messing me up. No, not with him. There's no chance. Not now. Not without first asking me. You wish to begin our marriage? We needed to discuss that. Do you think we need help? That should have happened before your affair. Saying sorry now does not solve the problem. Damn. I guess you're correct, but it's finished. We have to cope with it somehow. Damn, I've just realized something. What? You never apologized. For real? I did. I wrote everything in my letter. No, you were sorry that things turned out this way. And I'm sorry I got hurt. But you did not apologize for what you did. You claimed you had no regrets. That it would be terrible if you didn't accompany him. No, Stephanie, you are not regretful for having an affair. You just don't like what happened later. She sat back down. And you haven't sincerely apologized since you arrived? Yes, I did. I admitted that I had done something wrong. This is not the same as feeling sorry does not constitute an apology. I wish I could do it again, Dave. I would do it all differently, but you would still do it. Yes, I would. She straightened up straight. But I wanted you to know I wasn't leaving for good, that it was not about you or me. And you're correct. You should have known. You deserve that conversation. I did not treat my hubby properly. I really apologize for it, and I really apologize for hurting you. You need to believe me. There, you aren't sorry you did it, or will you keep doing it? She did not speak. Her eyes said yes, but no words emerged. Love is never incorrect. I mentioned it was wrong to deny how you felt about him, more of the same. I continued talking, and it would be wrong to ignore that emotion. That would go against pure love. Yes, there it was. I thought about it for a single second. Get out of here, Stephanie. Stand up from this table and leave. Let me be. Now, Dave, I'm going. She moved, her hands dancing across the table. She rose up from the booth and paused for a while. I apologize. She said it again, then walked away with tears in her eyes. I caught myself clutching my steak knife too tightly, and my hand turned white. I did not mean to. I let it go and looked far away. Liz arrived shortly afterwards. I suppose I know how that happened, she said with a sympathetic expression. It was fine, I suppose. Drink it, but it's slow, she replied, placing a small glass of brown liquid in front of me. She didn't have a tray, so she held it herself. Just sip. Do not rush. Allow it to fade in your mouth. I sniffed it. It was bourbon. I raised one eyebrow at her. Angels are envious. Just as is, she answered with a faint, knowing smile. My reward. Take things slowly. If not, I may have to tap you. I did what she said. I knew she wouldn't actually tap me. It tasted excellent. I let the sweet, smoky drink fill my tongue and felt better all around. Liz, you're incredibly good at your work. I spend most nights at the bar. You get to know stuff. I am so delighted you are here with me tonight. I'd like to be there for you, too. I love you. She smiled. I also love you. I tipped her much more than I should have. How did it go? Cookie inquired when I arrived at her residence. It went. I stated I was giving up. I agreed to speak with someone, not to resolve issues, but to make things clear. I shake my head. I apologize. Our night out became ruined. I still owe you a lovely lunch. Have you eaten? Yeah, as usual with me. Hummus, olives, carrots, and cottage cheese. Add some radish slices, crispy bread, and pita. It is easier for me than a large lunch. Otherwise, I'd feel it when working out later. She simply shrugged. However, talking to someone may help. You could discover something about Stephanie or yourself. These conversations might reveal a lot. I hope so. Some things have already come out. I fell into the love seat. What is this? Sorry. Oh no, she's not truly sorry. She did not regret doing it. She's remorseful and I feel guilty. She apologizes for the mess. She's sorry things went wrong, but not for what she did to trigger them. Not sorry, she's still doing it, she's adamant about it. Cookie nodded while I spoke. I understand from what you've said. You nailed it. She believes that if you never found out about her seeing someone else, everything would be okay. That is not correct, however. You'd be living a phony life, and she'd be exploiting you. But it is her current point of view. She cannot be regretful if she believes she has done nothing wrong. Love is never incorrect. That is what she threw at me. I cringed as I connected the dots, and because she is in love, she sees nothing wrong. Well, in her eyes. Darn it. That expression, love is never wrong, isn't terrible. However, just because something is not wrong does not imply that everything is well. It is incorrect thinking. This does not imply that love is effective in all situations. It could be senseless. It would not fit. It may be stupid. It could be harmful. It could be risky. Aside from being mistaken, many other factors might contribute to love. Not a good decision. Exactly. And that is if she actually loves the other one. Perhaps she doesn't. Perhaps it's what she tells herself to make her acts appear acceptable. Calling it love creates an excuse in her mind. Maybe people do crazy things in the name of love. It is viewed as brave to violate the standards. Being awful feels courageous. The excitement of the forbidden. You've seen it around, but it ends up destroying lives like ours did. Do you like yours? Like hers? Have you cut connections with us? I kept quiet. The concept that Steph would never feel awful about her time with trash. Weasel struck me hard. She was still feeling comfortable about everything. She was glad she went after what she desired, no matter what. If she hadn't, she'd be upset with herself. Does this imply she'll do it again with another jerk? Oh no. Is choosing someone no one else desires the only way to have a long-lasting love? That did not feel right. No. Love works when you choose someone. This signifies you have a decision to make. Being unable to choose anyone else is not love. Love is choosing the same person and living the same life every day. Each person could leave, but they chose not to. That's what makes it inspiring. You stick together through good and bad times, mostly terrible. Is now one of those horrible times? Was I the one who messed up? Cookie observed. You look deep in thought. What is on your mind? Stephanie is never going to say apologize. It's simply not who she is. She just believes she should have played it differently to get a greater reaction from me. She believes she botched up since she couldn't play me properly. The problem is with me, not with her. I'm being too hard and proud. She expected me to give in. Cookie gave me a glance that said she understood. She can't see how cruel she is. Many women underestimate how important it is for men to feel proud. Our society expects men to be tough, to do everything, and to never give up. You are meant to provide, to be there, feeling and giving, yet never showing that you're wounded or need help. Men, like all other people, require care. But you're not supposed to say it exactly. That's what they tell us as kids. She took off her shirt. No bra. Wow. Seeing boobs is beneficial for you. It makes you feel better, reduce stress. It's hard to be sad in front of them. Guess you're correct. Feeling better now? Here, she climbed on me. Go ahead. There are no rules now. It's just us. She moved closer. I did not wait to be asked twice. The feel of her flesh, her scent, and the sweet sounds she made, and the surge of being wanted transformed the following minutes into pure ecstasy, which I'd remember for years. But then, after a while, she shook in my arms, a faint gasp, indicating that she was very delighted. Happy? What does this imply? It's difficult to believe more. She inquired, still catching her breath. Okay. I held, squeezed, touched as if we were one. She moved against me. She was covered in sweat, which added to the intensity of the situation. She was happy so many times that I lost count. Each wonderful moment flowed into the next, a wave of positive emotions. After a time, she paused and sat down in front of me. She started unbuckling my belt. You do not have to, I answered. I am more prepared than ever. Yes, I do. I did not argue. The first one she gave me was full of crazy delight and messy fun, and it was so fantastic. It felt like a wow moment for me. Not only did I feel wanted, but I also knew I mattered. That made me feel fantastic and significant. It made me realize how much I hadn't felt that way in so long. This time, however, she appeared to be demonstrating her abilities. Cookie was an expert at making things feel fantastic. She played a game with me, having me wait before switching things up in ways I didn't expect. It kept me on edge while waiting. Then she'd alter things up, caressing places no one else had, even areas I hadn't expected. I finally had her attention after what felt like an eternity. Cookie realized I couldn't hold back and modified her move. "Do it," she said. She slid back, causing me to cover her neck even more as she touched me just so. "Yes," she said as I gave more than I thought I could without stopping till I was finished. She laughed when she tasted it. She mentioned something really good. "All mine." "Oh, David, you did good, didn't you?" Seeing her like that stuck with me deep down. This was all I could say. Wow. Have I messed with your mind? Did I set too high a standard for anyone who came after? Yeah. Good. She applied what remained of my substance to her skin as if it were lotion, then climbed back next to me on the small sofa. That's a good name. But this was not love. She kept telling me that it was something else. How did she express it? Being certain, feeling seen, liked, warm, confident, and enjoyable, I suppose. Somehow throughout that tumultuous night she must have undressed and put me to bed, because this is how I awoke. Bear with Cookie, just like Bear cuddling close to me for two people. Not a thing, this definitely felt like it. I awoke at the usual hour and knew I needed to work. Cookie moved slightly and made a sound. "You do not have to attend to class till 10, but I do. Too awful." "Yes. Feeling better?" she asked. "Last night was a lot. It began well. Got rough, then turned out to be great." "Good. You needed it. I feel a little selfish. Don't. It was perfect. I needed it too. I did not even do the same for you. Don't be stressed. I couldn't have handled it. I'd have had to stop you. Plus, I had been out all night the night before, and that happened twice more while I was with you, small ones. I still felt it. Wow. I had no clue. So, about that nipple thing. I've never met a girl that could really get into that. I assumed it was not real. Nope. It's real to me, not always, not often, and almost never like that. You were fantastic. Really? One of the most enjoyable times I've had. Just one of the greatest, not the finest. Only a Sith operates in all ways or nevers, she said without smiling. I couldn't help but laugh. What shall I say? She also laughed. You were correct about my love of nerdy things. My first major crush was Luke Skywalker. I was 8. I thought so. Really? You were fantastic. I adored every second, and I adore you. You should feel comfortable about yourself. You're a nice guy and a wonderful lover, a real catch. Take it from a mainly straight lady who resembles me. Do not let your wife's poor decisions make you feel bad. Oh, by the way, can we meet at 4 today? Yes, I think so. I mean, I left work early yesterday, but I could do so again today if I move a couple things around. What up? We're hitting the gym. You are not in poor shape. Your body is fine, but exercising causes your brain to release happiness. Fun thing. It makes you feel good and stable. Gives you a sense of accomplishment. There is no happier medicine out there. More importantly, you must take care of yourself. That is far more important than simply getting pats on the back from others. Trust me, this is how to accomplish it. Oh, okay. I guess I'll have to sneak back to my house to get some training gear. Right. She appeared sharp as she made the move between house and home. There are also shoes. Running shoes. They do not have to be top of the line. Also, carry a tiny towel, a hand, and towels. Fine, don't worry, I'll take it easy on you at start. It's more about getting used to it and setting your heart properly. We'll be at the university's sports facility. I will sign you in. All right, good. Get cleaned up. I will make coffee. She gave my buttocks a teasing tap as I turned to her strange, tiny antique restroom. I felt on top of the world. Work was the regular grind. I went into HR to tell them about my divorce, explaining that I would need to sort out things like my wages, insurance, and pension. I mentioned that I'd need to take some days off now and again for lawyers and meetings and such. They were quite professional and weirdly detached from it. We work for a large corporation, and while my life was turned upside down, it was simply the norm for them. That line struck me hard in a sad sense. The old saying goes, "What's good for the spider is bad for the fly." That was me. The flies. I searched up some people to talk to about marriage and chose one to meet. I figured I'd notify Steph by SMS. I turned on my phone and discovered a slew of emails and texts from her. I got rid of them. I knew what I needed to do. I left work early again and attempted to sneak back home before Steph arrived. That's when I noticed the storage pod. It was exactly where it had been when I filled it with Jessie and Cookie items. Steph had returned everything, pretending as if what I had done didn't matter. Fine. The new keys did not work. The locks were replaced again. The new ones seemed expensive. Has she broken in? Yep. She replaced a broken window near the back door, probably by the same people who changed the locks. Luckily for me, she did not touch the garage door opener or the kitchen door lock. There was the same, so I could enter that way. I figured I'd keep it open for later, just in case. So I double-checked Michael's room's window lock, which had been left open from his sneaking out days. We were aware, but did not mention, that the majority of Steph's belongings had been returned. She wanted to make it like if nothing had occurred, but she wasn't finished. She was working alone and sad, so she couldn't accomplish what 3 individuals did in a day. As I packed my belongings and took some extras, I saw something I had overlooked previously. Stephanie had far more stuff than I had. If it was just my belongings, I could have packed up in an hour or 2. All I really had was the space we shared. In my own home, I took up very little space. I had half of the closet, barely a drawer to myself, 1 chair in the living room, and a small area at the table for my work supplies. Everything else was for Stephanie. I felt like I was simply visiting and trying not to take up too much space. Damn that. I threw most of my belongings in the car. They all fit. I left the chair behind. Driving to the campus gym with an old shirt, shorts, and my lone pair of sneakers, I noticed something. It struck me late. Our bed appeared untouched. Stephanie was not even planning to remain there. I wish I could say I enjoyed exercising, that it was enjoyable, made me feel alive, and left me eager for more. But it was the complete opposite. I felt foolish, clumsy, weak, sore, and elderly. Cookie was polite and easy on me, but I couldn't even try the items she showed me, and I probably stopped her from performing her own workout. It's difficult at first, I understand, but it gets easier. How long till it does? Give it 3 to 4 tries. It gets much better. Do not force it. Please keep coming. That's the crucial thing. You will begin doing more when you are ready. If you say so, I do. You may not believe me right now, but after a few hours you will feel better. Be proud of yourself. I suppose I'll have to trust you. We were at Planet Smoothie, right in the lobby. Cookie volunteered to pay for the PB&J smoothie I was enjoying. It tasted wonderful. Cookie looked fantastic in her sports suit and exuded a healthy glow. Given how things were going, I should have been happier. Getting into a routine is essential, she added, trying to overcome my dismal mood. Do it without thinking, even if you don't want to. You will thank yourself later. When you're feeling lost, having a strategy can be helpful. Right now, you're just floating aimlessly. Making yourself do things and seeing how they affect your life feels nice at this point. It must be about exercising. No, it could be anything. Sure, exercising is a terrific way to get immediate results with minimal effort. She tilted her head. But you are correct. Other things work as well. You'll soon start tackling those issues. I realize there is a lot to accomplish. I'm not simply talking about figuring stuff out. Yes, there is dealing with your lawyer, seeing your therapist, and bank issues. I believe you've got it. However, more work remains to be done. Your style of living. Who are you? Your working life. Now is the moment to think about what you truly desire. Okay, I know what I don't want. I don't want things to return to how they were. I'm not interested in the entire equal partners thing she's pursuing or the open relationship aspect. No way. And I do not want to stay with her. Even if she ends up with that guy, she'll eventually hate me, making me look like the bad guy. You already know it's good, but try to focus on what you do want rather than what you don't. Focus on happy thoughts, not negative ones. What comes to mind when I say don't think about tigers, right? A negative makes you think about the exact thing. But what if I said, think of watermelons? Watermelons, not tigers. Okay, fair enough. I got it. So Dave, what do you want? How do you envision your life from now on? I looked up. That is a really fantastic one. There's no urgency and no regulations. You can also shift gears multiple times if necessary. What shall I do? What do you think? I believe it is time to stop asking people for advice on what is best for you and start making your own decisions. Right. My fault. It was silly of me to ask. No, it's just a habit. You are so focused on making others happy that it is difficult to think for yourself. True. I frowned. I wish I knew a better way to ask for help, but it had slipped my mind. But sometimes asking is more important than finding out. Yes. Was this a question? One to think about. Try it. What if I could have it my way? Where would I be if I could choose any location? If I could have anyone around, who would it be? What would I do if everything was up for grabs? You could surprise yourself with what you discover. I hope you do. And if you can't have what you want, you'll find something near enough, which may be even better. Because it is real. You can go for it. Because it is yours. Wow, I've got a lot to think about, do you? But there's no rush. Things will continue to move forward. Things will shift. You will see a lot of doors. And it's all uncertain until someone commits to a choice. That person should be you. That's correct. Divorce causes significant disruption in one's life. People relocate to new places, switch jobs, meet new people. There is a variety. It's like having a before and after moment in your life. We typically perceive it as a negative, yet it is also an opportunity to grow and change. How frequently do you get to make yourself over to attempt things you would normally avoid in order to shed your old self and transform into someone new, someone you've always wanted to be? Sure, it's intimidating and large, but it's also exhilarating. A fresh task. Anything you've ever considered but then said, oh, I could never do that. Well, this is the moment, man. I wouldn't know where to start. That brings us back to square one. You become something by doing it. Are you a gym guy? You get there by doing something. Do you enjoy fishing, writing, dancing, gaming, cracking jokes, hunting, chasing females, juggling, and making things? Reading? None of these. You begin with modest steps. That is how everything begins. First, you imagine it's real. That's tough. Then you meddle with it. You spend time on it. You practice, you do more, and eventually you get into it. If you practice long enough, you'll get good. Stay good at it, and it will become a part of you, not just in your head, but also in reality. Then it struck me. Cookie, I'm guessing you were not a dancer before. The situation with Justin. I sat back, hoping I hadn't damaged things with this lady. I had not. She simply nodded. That was my major change. Before, I was quiet. I'm a total keeper to myself. That's how I handled it in graduate school, always in my books. I rarely talked to anyone and was just concerned with what I was working on. That's how I made it through. People with advanced degrees believe they are the wisest. We are not. My ability to discuss about such minor details used to bore others. They simply wanted me to stop. This is why I have 2 degrees. I could not be a teacher. Too frightened to speak in front of others. I wanted to hide in research, away from everyone. However, it was difficult to find such a position. I wasn't assertive enough, so I returned to school. It felt safe. But look at yourself now. I've changed a lot. I choose to be different, strong, confident, brave. However, everyone becomes afraid. Her voice dropped. Being brave entails confronting that fear. She then grinned slightly. Sorry. Oops. I sounded like a space warrior. I used to be a major nerd. Some of it is still inside me, but certainly I decided to change in the hospital after my surgery. I knew I needed to be unique. The old me did not make it. I was reborn. I wanted to be strong, sure, and I want to feel comfortable about how I appear. That was very unusual for me. When I first started dancing, it felt like the most terrifying experience I'd ever had. I had never worn a bikini outside. No way. She lifted her hand and grabbed Thor's hammer. I vow. Alan Rickman embarks on a galaxy adventure. Nice. You catch everything. He mentioned a weird talent. Don't underestimate yourself, David. You have a terrific mind. You can do a lot with it. Even make myself known for sure. Wait, something she just stated. You called me David, not Dave. Is this okay? Yeah, that's cool. Stephanie used to say it, which meant I was in hot water. She used that when she was angry or unhappy with me. You did not? You appear to actually mean it. Yes. Sure. Would you like me to call you David? All the time now? No, it's okay. Either way, it works for me. When people create new identities, they frequently change their names. Many ladies do. Even if it is not required by law, they urge acquaintances to give them a new name. Did you want to? No, not much. How about you? Did you consider altering yours? I did think about it, but I elected to keep the cookie. She gave a little smile and laughed slightly. It is fine with me because of the song. That tune is constantly playing in my thoughts like a small joy. It makes me feel strong. That is nice. Many things are pleasant, Dave. Even when everything appears to be going wrong, there is always something tiny to look forward to. After we finished our smoothies, I got into my car and drove to Cookie's apartment. Finding a location to park was difficult, and I was concerned about my belongings in the car. I took a bag of clean clothes and walked 4 blocks to get Cookies. Sorry, it's difficult to park. Sorry. Yes, it is difficult to locate a spot currently. I have most of my belongings in my car. I hope they are safe. Could I bring them here? As quickly as I asked. I realized how stupid that was. Her flat was tiny yet full. I know my place isn't ready for that. How much things do you have, and how long do you need to store it here? I apologize. No, I understand. That will not work. It should be okay for the night. I will fix it in the morning. She nodded. Look, I understand you don't want to remain in the house with Stephanie, but we need to think about a more long-term solution for you. Stephanie is not there. She is not. The bed has not been used. It appears she is staying with her boyfriend. She attempts to drag you back to a house she isn't even in, right? That seems peculiar, doesn't it? Perhaps if her plan worked, she'd join me. Well, you can stay here for a few days. You are welcome. However, having you here for an extended period of time is challenging. If you have a large house empty, there's no need for us to jam into this tight space merely for fun, of course. Oh no, I am in your way. Sorry, I've been dumb and selfish. Stop, I'm not mad. Consider it an opportunity to reflect on what we have previously discussed. Where do you want to live? Not sure. Not in your house? Not really. You want your own place? Yes, a location for the children. When they come over. Or to offer them a location that they believe is theirs. They do well in school, but I want them to have their own space where they can feel comfortable. So you plan to stay in the city? I haven't thought about leaving. Now is the moment to consider what awaits you. Why stay? What could prompt you to pick up and move? We had to stay for Stephanie's employment. But not now, I suppose. I work in a large building with numerous offices. Perhaps I could relocate to a city on the water. I've been telling myself no for so long. Do you want that? Maybe. It's like beginning over, I suppose. It would keep me away from Stephanie. But I am growing too old for that stuff. She gave me a stern look. Say it again? Who is old? Oops. Forgot. That's okay. I know people that are considerably younger than me but feel and act older. Age does bring limitations. Yes, but it also depends on your perspective and attitude. Many young people tire themselves out early. This makes sense. What you're doing is what I consider a quick no. We quickly dismiss any new opportunities that come to mind. We do it because we prefer things as they are. Even if we don't particularly enjoy our lives, they seem safe. New opportunities feel frightening. So the rapid no occurs. I want you to resist that emotion. I don't want you to go, but you should be able to adjust if necessary. Your world shifted while you weren't looking. The ability to adjust and take command is essential. So ignore the fast. No, yeah, ignore it, she responded with a nod. It isn't helping you. Where do you want to live? I am not sure. I felt a chill, although it was probably not from here. I need to think about my choices. I realize it isn't a strong response, but it's how I work. I'm all about planning and making decisions based on information. Good, and you're correct. I have remained too long. I will locate a location tomorrow. I can get a nice deal. This is your space, and I respect it. You've been quite helpful. You have been worth it. You still owe me a good supper out, and I owe you a proper sushi night. You're correct. As you always are. You understand this better. It's an old tragic story, Dave. Very ancient. Very sad. She prepared a simple yet wonderful dinner. Fish on rice with vegetables and a couple of glasses of wine. We discussed everything but my concerns. Cookie thought it would be beneficial for me to take a night off from worrying. After eating, we sat close together. When she sat down, I kissed her and sat in front of her on the floor. Really? She said, You don't have to, Dave. You have been very nice to me, Cookie. Allow me to reciprocate some of your kindness. What a lovely thing to do. She slightly lowered her pants. Go ahead. I removed her jeans and kissed up her left leg from bottom to top. slowly. I gripped her calf with one hand while rubbing her foot with the other. I paused to let her feel my breath near her before repeating the process on the right leg. Went slowly. I experimented with moving close and then away. I stroked the sides and backs of her legs and softly held her behind. I gently opened her up and moved away, simply staring at her. React. I'd never been with a girl who was so silky before, and I enjoyed it. Just thinking about how much care she took of herself was amazing. David, you're driving me insane, she exhaled. Be polite. Her hand grasped the back of my head, bringing me closer. Speak the magic word. Please, please, go down on me. I want it. So I started. Stephanie is such a fool, a huge stupid. Thank you. You have no clue. Oh my God, you're amazing at this. You do it like a female who genuinely enjoys it. Wow, that's quite a compliment. You've got it. God, I did not expect that. Wow, Dave. Wow, you're overly sweet. No, I am not. I'm only out for myself. How are you? She reached back to feel my predicament. This poor thing must be seeking attention. This was true. I was highly prepared. Actually, I'm okay, I said, which surprised even me. You are joking. She turned to face me. Usually, guys regard going down as only a prelude to the main event. You are aware of the rules. You have to lick it before you stick it, right? And now you're here, having performed magic. And you're okay. She searched harder. Not that anything is horrible, but what's going on? I believe I was motivated solely by your desire, because you are worth it. You've been very nice to me. I wanted to give back. Okay, fair enough. Keep going. I believe you told Stephanie that informal stuff isn't my thing. You're correct. I've never been that far. I think if I did, I'd fall too hard for you. And you do not want it, but I can't help it. I am already halfway there. Setting boundaries is beneficial, she said. Talking is beneficial. I got it. I respect that. You know what else is good? Letting go. And I would feel terrible. I felt like I was failing myself if I passed up this opportunity. She squeezed the tip firmly in her fist. So we will not go all the way. But come on, let me aid a pal. She positioned herself on top of me, bringing me closer to her back entrance. Just picture plunging into my buttocks. I lost control. I did not try to stop it. She was still squeezing and rubbing the tip against herself. My mind became blank, and everything spilled out. More on her than within. But some may have gone in. It was a mess. Yes, she whispered. That is it. That's very good of you. Such a wonderful gift. I love it. It's so kind. I simply exhaled hard. She wiped her hand on a piece of the blanket and nestled close to me. Oh, David, it was great. And you're still good in a manner. Now we're doing everything, but she laughed. You said. But I also laughed. Yep, but ha-ha. We couldn't stop giggling since we sounded more like the television characters Beavis and Butthead than anything else. I pulled my shirt over my face, exposing only my eyes, and extended my arms. I'm the great cornhole Leo. Stop! She laughed so hard that she could hardly breathe. I'm the one that requires paper for my, She stumbled up and walked into our small bathroom. Stay there. She turned the water off and returned with 2 warm rags for me. One had soap on it. She gently washed me up before asking me to stand and kissing me softly. Can you pile that blanket? I need to wash it tomorrow. You do not have a washer here. It's too huge for me. Simply leave it by the door. And these 2, she remarked, tossing the clothes on top. Come to the bedroom later. Okay. She was lying beneath her sheets. Her body forms delicate contours. I cuddled close to her, exhausted. I enjoy how witty you are. Oh, haven't you seen anything yet? She extended out. Stephanie was not hilarious, was she? Not at all. She was quite serious. And as things became intimate, she changed entirely. Her voice, how she stood, and how she behaved. Everything changed. You couldn't simply talk to her. She was following a script, that's all. Yeah, that happens frequently. She was acting. Not everyone is like this. You are not. You're not either. When I changed, my sexual side became one with who I am. Previously, they appeared to be separated. Now I'm always the same. It feels better. You can do it. Anyone can. If they genuinely want to. She moved closer. You're a good dude, Dave. Remember that. And not just for me, okay? Many individuals would think so, especially ladies. You have good looks, you've got your life together, and you're compassionate, understanding, and wonderful at expressing love. You will find someone. She kept her distance, but not with you. Oh, you're doing so great with me. There is no doubt about that. You are doing better than almost everyone. But there is no more path ahead. You enjoy being married, right? Not only to Stephanie, but the entire concept. The consistent feeling, the label of being someone's other half makes you pleased. Yes, that rings true. My own marriage wasn't perfect, but it wasn't what I had hoped for. But I did enjoy what I believed it was. Maybe there's too much fixed in place. Everything has become a lie in recent years. The steady section was simply a show. The title was a falsehood. I was not truly a married man. I was cheated on. Now I have to carry that fact, like armor. Do you see yourself getting married again? Not soon, but rather in general. I'm not referring to myself, but to someone else. I suppose when I'm ready. But gosh, that will take a while. I need to address my anger and trust issues. I've only just begun to touch on it. People who split up usually marry quickly or wait 7 to 10 years. I believe you will prefer to wait. You don't have to solve all of your problems, by the way, only the majority. It's acceptable if something still hurts after you've moved on from your difficulties. You kind of think so. But no, I haven't, since you promised yourself you'd never be in another relationship. Not only that, I don't think anyone could get over what happened to me. The pain persists. It's like losing a leg. You can heal, but you are missing a component. You learn how to deal with it. Put something else in its place. You could live a long, good, and happy life, but you'll always miss that portion. Sometimes you can still feel it. Sometimes it still hurts. I wasn't sure what to say. It's not that I distrust people, Dave. Not that I distrust men. And it's not because I distrust you. She spoke with firmness. You keep to your words, I repeated, always. If I can't, I won't say yes. That is quite strong. I believe you should try it. You made a pledge to me. I did. I promised to support you and help you get through this difficult moment. You intended every word I said. Do you get it? I am starting to. A thought struck me. I am not the only one, am I? I met Liz, and you helped mend wounded hearts like mine. And for what? It's been like 20 or 24 years now. How many? She paused. You are the 30th, I suppose. That is a lot. Do not think. You're only one of many. Each occasion is special. It does not always work out. And I don't become close to everyone. You're different. I haven't felt this way in a long time. And I have some ideas for you, if you are ready. What are the plans? I will notify you when the moment is appropriate. But for now, you have a lot to learn, like what? So, I was about to say, people who remarry immediately seek to return to what feels safe. They want it to feel like old times. It's not the ideal way to live. So, are you getting married again immediately away? No, do not rush it. Those odds aren't good, not even the first time. And you're racing towards me with all those emotions. I get it, sentiments are fine. You are really capable of caring for me. I also care for you. But here's the deal. I am not going to be your girlfriend, not your next wife. It's simply not in the cards. Wear something else. Not what you think. Friends with benefits? Not precisely. That's not the correct tag for us. She snuggled up to me again, comfy and warm. Look, you're just with one person. Only one for so many years. You haven't seen much of what is truly out there. All the numerous ways people can get together. You might believe it's about finding the one and seeing if you click. And if all goes well, you can lock it down. That is the dream, correct? The hole is enclosed by a white fence, keeping score with the neighbors. The typical drill. You've been there and done that. Right. But it does not have to be this way. Not every woman you meet should be viewed as your eventual long-term partner. Not every nice thing lasts forever. Not every major thing is destined to happen. It's not always about going down the aisle. Sometimes it's all about the moment. Lasts as long as it should. It will end when it is time. And from there, you expect to find what you were looking for. With any hope, you'll learn something from each other. Then go your separate ways, taking some of that experience with you, making it part of who you are. I had some very fantastic moments with folks I dated, and what made them unique was not only how happy I was when we were together, but also how things ended. I still think kindly of them. This notion struck me hard. I remembered how astonished Steph was when Liz replied, "You don't have to marry everyone you date." I bet my face was the same. She knew it. She couldn't see my face, but she sensed my reaction. Consider it as going to school. She continued going, calm as always. You sign up for classes and participate in all of the school activities. You meet friends. Do sports and join clubs. You study, socialize, party, and stay up late. Learn your drinking limits and navigate your life as a student. That is your role. Then graduation arrives. It was not going to last forever. But this does not diminish its value. It doesn't imply that it wasn't suitable for you or that it was a falsehood or error. The fact that it ceased does not imply that it failed. It was a win. You'll remember it as something you had to do but are glad you did, and you will always be a part of it. So what are you teaching me? I asked. I'm a teacher, yes, but not in this particular circumstance. Here, you're more of a learner. You begin as a rookie, progress to my level, and eventually become a master in your own right. Perhaps even better than me. That is what I wish for. But I'll always be there to guide you. And who knows? Perhaps one day you'll have to battle for your former master, Tiny One. But I thought we agreed that you were Batgirl. So that makes me Robin. So I'm supposed to become the Bat for a while, then cross the river to Bloodhaven and transform into Nightwing. That's correct. What are your plans for me? Smart youngster. Yes, something quite similar to that. And how many of your plans end out like that? 2. 2 out of 30. I told you were exceptional. I wasn't sure what to say. Then the perfect line came to me. Get Dare's hammer. You will be repaid. She sounded as happy as a cat. The next morning it was Cookie's turn to get up early. She wanted to exercise before her 8 o'clock class. Her blender making some green smoothie jolted me awake. I've got to go lock up afterwards. Love you. She kissed me and departed. She looks terrific in her tight training attire. I stayed in bed for another 5 minutes. Then I felt like I wasn't alone. The shadow moved and 2 green eyes appeared. Sebastian, the cat, disappeared. I got out of bed, nearly slid in the shower, and packed my belongings. I recognized I wasn't going to live here. I would come back, but only as a visitor. That is all I was this time. Damn. Was I also a visitor in Stephanie's life, just going through, always moving on? Was my entire life merely a passing through, trying not to cause any trouble? I try to minimize my impact. My job involves moving things around, establishing procedures to make things flow more smoothly. Is that how my entire life was moving? Things are not staying put, making things for others, not for myself. I shake my head. No, do not think like that. It's acceptable to be sad, simply let it pass. I made plans. I picked paths. I got things done. That is what I am about. For a while, I became completely consumed by my work. Once ahead, I considered my next move. I liked my job. Things were going nicely. I liked Cookie's clever name. I could go far, even beyond the country. Why not? Jessie kept me here as well, but she'd found better work, perhaps 3 years distant. She might meet a guy and then move Michael. He was set on Chicago. He had enormous goals, and nothing could stop him. He was unstoppable. However, there was another truth. Cookie was the reason I stayed. This event, whatever it was, had just started. It's just been 1 week, but what a week! Perhaps she wasn't. Was she? I tried not to think about her too much. This wasn't our time together, not like that. Or was it? If it was unfamiliar to me. Maybe she was correct. Perhaps this will enough for the time being, not forever. I wasn't sure how it would end or change. Stop delving into those thoughts, Dave. I looked for jobs in the Windy City, thinking about relocating abroad later, when the kids are more independent. I sent emails while waiting for news. I reserved a 3-month suite near my workplace and shopping area. It had a small gymnasium. I decided to acquire a bicycle. I pushed myself into work and spent the rest of the day looking at homes and apartments. Some people from Chicago emailed back, interested in having me relocate there. After my job, I drove straight to my new temporary residence and unpacked. It was quick. I examined my phone, which Stephanie had loaded with texts. I disregarded them. I deleted all of her texts and sent her one informing her about our visit with the couple's therapist, next Wednesday. She responded with further texts, which I did not bother reading. This was the first night in 3 without a cookie. This week, I spent more time with her than I did with Stephanie in a year. And not simply the physical aspect, which was significant. I mean, real conversations. Feeling as if someone cared, being wanted and held. Damn, this was a real affair. Then I considered whether Steph had been doing the same with that guy. Probably a lot. My stomach twisted. She hadn't been that close to me. No surprise we drifted away. She got what she needed from someone else. Damn that. Is there something I did wrong? Was it my responsibility for not being present for her? Crap. I once heard that in order to solve a problem, you must first confess your role in it. The demise of our marriage was partly my responsibility. Was I not paying enough attention to her? Did she feel overlooked? Was I left out? Had I become too comfortable? Have you not said enough? I did not think so, and the first thing she said in her Dear Dave letter was that I was an excellent husband, and it was not about me. Was this true, or was she simply attempting to make me feel better? No, I believe she meant it. She's usually quick to point out my errors when she notices them, but she never indicated she was unhappy. My phone was still in my hand when Cookie called. Hello, Dave. Hello, Cookie. Oh, you sound down. Do you feel sorry for yourself again? Yeah. Perhaps I should think about it more. Okay, so that's going to happen. Just don't let that ruin your night, okay? Okay, listen, I just wanted to check in and tell you that tonight is my work night at the club. Now I dance every Thursday and Friday. It fits better within my timetable. But didn't you start earlier today? Yes, it's a long day, but I have a 5-hour break in the middle during which I always snooze. I just wanted to say that I won't be available to hang out until Saturday. Oh, and coming to the club to see me is not a good idea. You may believe you're fine with it, but watching me work will be awkward. I do not want to make you uncomfortable. Okay, I understand. Yes, I get what you mean. I believed you had quit the club. Why did you believe that? Jessica claimed her pals couldn't find you. Yeah. Jerome tells the college students that I am not present. I also rotate between 4 other clubs in town to keep people guessing, and I occasionally use various names. People know me, but not as much as you think. College males don't have much money to spend at strip clubs. Furthermore, it is easier for them to locate someone to sleep with. This makes sense. I wasn't as lucky in college. Perhaps you didn't believe you were good enough. Believe me, you're a good find. Thanks. Hey, I wanted to know when you danced. Do you always choose a name beginning with a C? I do. Why? Just curious. The guy in the private room phoned you. Jerry is well familiar with me. He replied I was lucky to have your assistance. He meant that whatever happened was horrible. But I was in good hands. He's kind. He's one of the special cases you should get to know. He's married to Daniel, a lovely person. They've been together almost 20 years. Oh, I hadn't considered him gay. He does not act in a way that demonstrates it. He looks out for the females and has a good understanding of his clients. He seems to be the appropriate person for the position. He is. Hey, I have to leave. I just wanted to see how you were. Did you locate somewhere to stay? Okay. Yes, I am there now. Good. You still owe me a dinner date. How about Saturday? Sure. Saturday works. Where do you wish to go? Surprise me. Simply choose a location with healthy options. Ruth's Chris was nice, but the food was too heavy for me. Okay, dress nicely, but not overly fancy. Ha ha. We each have choices to make. Yeah, all right. Have a nice night. Don't feel horrible about yourself for more than about 45 minutes, okay? Then stop. Try something fun. Something distinct. Simply don't drink. You'll be happy afterward, okay? Promise? Twice more. Okay. I pledge that I will not be sad all night. I'll take care of myself and do some enjoyable things I don't often do. Nice. See you on Saturday. Call me tomorrow. Okay. Love you. I love you too. The call has ended. I felt boundaries rising. That was probably good. I considered watching her dance again, but she was correct. That'd be odd. I'd be jealous and upset, and it is not good. Nonetheless, I broke my commitment and spent the entire night moping. I fared well at work the next day, despite having spent a lot of time looking at properties online. I chose a condo and had other possibilities, but it felt like a dream. Was I really moving? It would be beneficial for my job. I couldn't stay at that house. What about the kids? Well, that would happen soon. I suppose neither would spend much time there again. It was not home anymore. The house was beginning to sink in. I also met with a divorce lawyer for the first time at the age of 2. I got all of the documentation they requested and arrived on time. Walking in, I felt a profound dip in my stomach, but I was determined to do this. The lawyer's name was Alicia Swanson. I've heard that males do better with female lawyers and women do better with men. I don't know if it's true. I showed her my money and the letter Stephanie had left. Wow, this is very horrible. She stated, "You know, this state doesn't care who did what in a divorce." Nonetheless, this letter makes her appear horrible. It was dumb of her to write it down. It will make the agreement more favorable to you. What do we want? I simply want this to be over. We'll share it fairly. We sell our house. It has increased in value, thus there is good money in it. The kids are 19, so we don't have to worry about who they live with or who pays for their daily expenses, right? That's correct. However, you are still required to contribute to their education and have your name on their loans. Splitting up does not change it. Any further assistance you provide can be given directly to them or placed in a savings account for their benefit. It does not have to go through Stephanie. She seemed a little concerned. I don't want to stir things up, but they are your children. Yes, did you check? I considered that. Steph said she wouldn't fool with me like that, so I laughed it off. I never took those DNA tests, but even if I did, they're still my children. I adore them more than anything. They've always recognized me as father, and nothing else counts. That's how to think. Okay, let's save that concept in case things go messy. I understand you do not want this to be ugly, and for your sake, I pray it continues that way. But please remember that I am here for you. Ready for anything? Just testing could be interpreted as a big screw you to your ex. I'm not going to lie, I am hurt. My life is going apart. I'm furious as hell. She deserves a screw you, but I'd like to keep things cool and fair. At least to begin with. At least in writing. And I'd like to pay her as little as possible. Understood. Given how much you both earn and how long you've been married, it is likely that she will receive a monthly payment. The only way out is if she remarries. That letter she wrote may allow us to pay less with her. Speaking of co-equal husbands, we might also get it reduced if we can demonstrate that her new man is assisting her. So they live together? So, based on what I observe, she is at his apartment. However, they are just there. I don't think she's moved in, and I'm not sure. Should we hire someone to dig deeper? I know a couple of folks that can help. Everyone knows they're together now. Aren't those spies pricey? Will it even reduce the money we give her? She simply shrugged. If you're considering sticking to a prenup or suing to end your marriage, go for it. You must, however, give in order to possibly save money. Probably not worthwhile. It may not pay off for many years, if ever. We could just ask her where she lives. Are you still in the house? No. I've been crashing with a pal. I'm now staying near work. And she's not at home. I replaced the locks. She then broke in and changed them back. Did she lock you out? Looks like it. And she isn't even there. But she says she wants you back. Makes no sense. Are you telling me that none of this works? She exhaled. It usually doesn't. But that's okay. We will handle it. So long as you are both safe. The rest is not a huge concern. Is she going to make a fuss about the house, the money, or drag this out in therapy? I have a therapy session scheduled. Do you? Did you agree to that? Yeah, just to wrap things up. I am even covering it. This could go either way. Don't be surprised if this doesn't work out. Still, attending treatment demonstrates that you are attempting to maintain a nice environment which judges value. They despise dealing with messy fights. I understand that. Believe it or not, lawyers aren't supporters of the situation either. The majority of the issues we fight over for our customers are stupid. There was a time when we spent 6 weeks arguing over a coffee table that no one wanted. The truth is, when people leave their marriages, that's it. You cannot force someone to stay if they do not want to. The law simply takes some time to catch up. Most of the time when people part up, they don't want to be together, but they drag it out in order to hurt the other person. Sure, it means more money for me, but it is best for everyone if it stops soon. I sorta liked her. She moved the papers, as if ready to finish. I believe we have everything we need right now. I'll be ready to file in about a week. Please tell me when and where you want him served, as soon as he can arrive at his location. Or no, at work or not. Think about it. When and where you select sends a message. Being kind is better for you. Now I can be tough if necessary. God knows you've given me much. But you're saying you don't want a major fight, correct? Right. Okay, I will think about it. When do you have your counseling? Wednesday. See how it goes. Call me when she's packed my papers in a box and have a nice afternoon. Trust me, things might be far worse. Okay. I exited her office. I called Jessica. I got her voicemail and then texted her right back. Hey, I am currently with my mother. Not a good moment. Call you later. I responded with KK, which I understood meant okay, but not why. So I phoned Michael. Hey, Dad. How are you? Is there any news? I just seen my divorce lawyer. Michael became quiet. Are you there? It's just hard to comprehend everything is happening. The process is beginning. It will take a week to file and get her served, then a few more months, perhaps a year, especially if it moves quickly. We have a talk scheduled on Wednesday. I hoped it might help your mom see things more clearly, but I've been advised that it may not go as planned. I'm guessing I'll have to admit my role in our marital problems. You are not to blame, Dad. I get where you are coming from. I've been reading up on it. It's normal to feel this way, but I'm not very good at these stuff. People take things to heart. For example, children frequently believe that divorce is their fault, despite the fact that it is not. Oh my. Michael, don't you think this is your fault? No, not really. I've had those thoughts, certainly, but I'm able to dismiss them. I haven't lived at home for the majority of the year, and it looked like Mom was concealing everything from us. Right? You're correct. She was only thinking about herself. I see it. Listen, I don't want to talk poorly of your mother. She is your mother, no matter what. I don't want to ruin your relationship with her or force you to choose sides, okay? You are not. It bothers me, but I will still create my own opinions. I really hope that the guy I marry does not wind up hurting me like this. She? Well, I'd guess she won't, but who knows? I only hope things go better for you. Don't think that marriage is so nice. As I previously mentioned, I've been reading. Gen Z is not rushing into marriage or establishing families like previous generations did. Millennials were slower than Generation X, and your group was slower than the boomers. Perhaps younger people are beginning to doubt the whole premise. Possibly. What happens now? What? I'm extremely fortunate to have such intelligent children. I'm happy to help. Hold on. He was doing something on his phone. Jess is calling. She's with her mother. You should pick up. I will call you later. Bye. Love you. Dad. It was approximately 45 minutes later. Dad? Hello, Michael. Okay, so Jess was very upset. She cried a lot. Oh no, is she okay? I will call her. No, I will go over. I'm here. Dad, she claimed Michael put you on speaker. Oh, hello, honey. I'm fine now. I feel better. What did your mother say? Oh, that was horrible. She tried to make me feel comfortable with Mr. Davenport entering our family. She wants me to regard him as a new father figure or as her second husband. She did what? I suppose she's not thinking clearly. This could be middle-aged stuff. I told her that was insane. You would never agree, and neither would I. But she didn't listen. She is trapped in this strange dream and refuses to wake up. That woman believes she can bring Lee Davenport into our family. Yes, that is what she said. No way. Jessie started crying again. Daddy, how could she do this to you? To us? I don't understand what is wrong with her. She's calm down, Jessie. It's okay. Yeah, little sister, we've got this. She cried a little more anyway. Jessie, I'm coming over. No, you do not have to. Yes, I do. Look, I'm free regardless. I can't simply leave you upset. Allow me to buy you dinner. Please let me be there. She kept quiet for me. Let your father do this for my sake. You're a good father. She stated it best, Michael added. I am on my way. I will wait outside my dormitory. Text me when you're close. Okay. I adore you, Daddy. I love you too, Jessie. And you, Michael. Love you. Look after my sister. Dad, I will. We hung up. I sent the SMS and Jessie got into my car with a gym bag. I suspected she wasn't planning to stay in her dorm. I took her out to dine, but she only ate soup. We did not chat much. We just sat down at my apartment. I'm powerful and smart. The 19-year-old was like a small kid again. I simply held her and we breathed together. Sometimes just being present is all you need. Jessie slept on the couch bed and we had breakfast, brunch, and a long phone talk with Michael the following day. I dropped her back off at school and checked my email. My transfer to Chicago was nearly certain to be paid for by the corporation. I had 2 condos in mind and asked Michael for his thoughts. Maybe we can live together soon. I did some laundry. There was less of it than usual. It felt strange doing it solely for me. I used to do that with Stephanie and the kids while the washing was running. I emailed Cookie about our date at a new tapas restaurant. Stephanie often called, but I ignored her. I was unable to deal with her after what she did to Jessie. I met Cookie for dinner. Tapas means getting little portions of various cuisines to share. It was wonderful to experiment a lot. Cookie liked the idea. How was the prolonged stay? She kissed my cheek while we sat. That's okay. Not overly busy. Yeah, look, Dave, you can always crash at my apartment, but it's really only for me in the long term. Yeah, and I'm relieved I didn't slip in your shower. You need one of those non-slip mats. I received one. It's in an umbrella stand by the bathtub next to the hot tap. Do you? I didn't see it. No, guy. Fortunately, you did not fall. You should have told me. I forgot. My fault. I take a shower at the gym or the club. Not at home. I simply soaked in the tub. It's suitable for that. I did think about it. It's funny what we don't see. Shower mat, Stephanie, secret information. It feels like the world is full of dangers we are unaware of, waiting around every curve. I was feeling down. But Cookie can always see right through me. I considered asking her about her night out dancing, but I knew what she would reply. Whatever occurs there, remains there. I began to wonder whether she was doing more in the club, but concluded I didn't want to know. I definitely didn't want her to guess. I was thinking it. Dave, you are far away. Sorry? Yeah, I've got a lot on my mind. Stephanie, yeah. And you? You were correct about the club. It would not have helped. It's too tough. The future. I'm headed to Chicago. But am I going somewhere new or running from something? I'm not sure who I am right now. No idea. What happens next? It feels like I am not in charge of anything. She nodded. It's because something awful happened. Okay, I understand. Look, we can't always control what happens to us, but there's one thing you still don't understand. I stated it earlier, but you didn't take it. When you do, it will click. Until then, it's just talk, but I am like a teacher, okay? I'll keep attempting to show you this idea until you get it. Ready? Yeah, you will receive it when you are ready, not before. The lesson is simple. Bad things happen and we have no control over them, but we can control how we react. You have the final say on how things touch you. It's tough. I know we're tricky and don't always stick to our plans. Stuff hits us in unexpected ways, making dealing with it difficult. Sometimes our emotions get in the way of thinking clearly. When all is said and done, you are the only one who can decide how to react to anything. I got it, but it's hard. No, stop that. Look at me. Look at where I was and where I am now. It won't be quick. You could struggle with this your entire life. You may decide to battle this for the rest of your life. Alternatively, you might choose something else. It's all on you. Now image this. Consider a guy who has experienced something extremely negative. He thinks everything is ruined. He appears to have given up hope of ever finding happiness. It's not hard to imagine, right? But this is not you. His name was William Ernest Henley. He lived in the late 19th century and became ill. I even lost a leg to it. He spent a large portion of his life in severe pain. Here is what he had to say about his current circumstance. In the darkness that surrounds me, it's as deep as a hole from end to end. I am grateful to whatever gods there are for my powerful soul. When faced with adversity, I refuse to flinch or yell. Even when luck struck me hard, my head is bleeding but high. Past this place of rage and tears, only the shadow of dread awaits. And yet the threat of the next years will confront me. Fearless. The poem is titled Invictus, which means never beaten. He's down and hurt badly. He seems to be out of options, but this is not true. He's ready for more until the conclusion. Even in death, he remains unbeaten. He may be down, but he refuses to give up. Wow, that was all I could manage. The world swirled. I had to hold the table up so it didn't tumble down. Are you feeling it? Yes. Oh, wow. Yes. Strength. David. Power. Will. Invictus. Yes. Who guides your life? I do. Who guides your soul? I do it loudly. Who chooses your path? I do. Right on Invictus. Yes. Your life situation may have improved. It could be worse. Does not matter. You decide how things will be. You pick because they are yours. Be truthful about yourself. Be honest. Make decisions for yourself since you are the boss. Be authentic. You're not deceiving anyone, especially not you. That's how you live. I felt lightheaded, like if I was intoxicated. It does not need to happen all at once. It almost cannot. I simply need to keep moving. As the saying goes, take each day as it comes. I don't believe you'll just get over it, David. I believe you will continue to move simply because you have chosen to. That is how you remain unbeaten, no matter what. For example, when Worf became trapped by the Dominion and continued to battle in the arena. DS9. Nice. Happy to meet another nerd. I told you that I'm full of it. Your head and heart. Dave, it's packed with the best stuff. Cookie suggested we go for a walk after supper. We were in a busy part of town near to where events take place. She led me into a small jewelry shop. Was she thinking about giving me a gift? What is the size of your ring, Dave? This one is for your right hand. I do not know. Don't worry. They can find out here. And they did. An elderly man had many rings linked together, and he found my size. Cookie looked around. That's the one, she stated, selecting a sturdy-looking ring made of a hard metal. Not gold. Was it a type of wedding ring? Do you? I'm writing about it right now. He stated he did. Okay, I want 3 words written around the inside. Not all together. Here, here, and here. She showed him. She scrawled something on paper that I couldn't see. What is this all about, Cookie? Quiet. It is a present. My concept. I can't let you. You don't have to let me. I want to. You can get rid of it if you want, but I am still doing it. But you said. What have I said? You mentioned that we're not in that type of link. Oh no, you've got it wrong. This is for you, from me. But this ring is not about me. It is about you, something to remember. Remember what you'll find out. When the ring was ready, she handed it to me and paid with a card. It fit snugly and looked good. Cookie knows what is good. It was unusual, however. I'd worn a ring on my left hand for 20 years, and suddenly it was on my right. Everything was flipped. I took it off to read the writing inside. Strength, honor, unbeatable, strength, honor, never beaten. She explained, let it be your light in the dark, when every other light goes out. I laughed softly like a gift from Galadriel. Aaron's stars, Dale, wow, you catch everything. Oh, you're the king of nerd facts. Her smile was as dazzling as a magic pearl. When it feels dark, when you've been harmed or feel lost or lonely, touch this ring to remember. I hope you don't have to combat a gigantic spider. I doubt it will happen. I'm heading to Chicago, not a dark, terrifying place. I kissed the ring, then her cheek. Thank you, Cookie. I'll keep it safe forever. I'll wear it the way you said. But I'll also think about you and everything you've done for me. Don't become too mushy. It's not goodbye. I'm moving away, and you will be back, and I'll go there. We won't see each other all the time, but I promise to stand by you, and I will. Thank you. It's part of the adventure, little learner. Speaking of adventures, I packed my backpack. Let me accompany you to your new location. What a night it was. Cookie and I spent it all together. She also enjoyed taking a long shower. We didn't stay together too long after a brief breakfast. She had a lot of homework to check, and we both had work the following day. Michael was astonished when I told him he could live with me, or rather, I could live with him when he came to Chicago in a few years. But he liked the idea. He was thrilled to have his own place. But Chicago is pricey, and he definitely needs someone to share the cost. A roommate who pays for everything and is content simply to have you around is the ideal type. He did not answer yes outright, but he did remark he preferred one of the condos considerably better. Monday was just another day, so was Tuesday. The best part of the day was visiting another sushi restaurant with Cookie. She paid. She was pleased to see me with the ring. I had not taken it off. I interpreted it as a pledge to myself. The sushi was noticeably better than before, and the steak was a bonus. Cookie knows her sushi. She taught me how to use chopsticks. It was her treat, but it came at a much higher cost. We did not discuss my appointment with Steph the next day, but I kept stroking the ring. Wednesday was a momentous day. I arrived at the counselor's office just on time. Being late would look horrible, and arriving too early may allow Steph to get to me first. I wanted to be like Gandalf. It's about time. I arrived a bit early, my car was hit, and I walked in with a minute left. She wasn't present yet. I gazed around the waiting area, feeling out of place. I sat down with some awful coffee from the machine and waited. After 10 minutes, I'd had enough. Nobody was at the counter, so I sought for someone to ask. A girl was reading from her tablet. Hey, I am here to see Jordan Koenig. He's currently busy. You can see him in an hour. I should be inside with him. This is our first time here. I am David Jameson. Are you? She appeared bewildered. She examined her desk screen. Jameson? Yes. Oh, you're in room 4. She appeared puzzled. I thought you were here. Why should you? Never mind, thanks. I found room 4 and knocked. A guy opened it. Sorry, we're busy. Cheney should have informed you. I am David Jameson. Are you? But then who? He appeared shocked. Come inside. Stephanie is in the room with her horrible lover, Lee Davenport. Great, you are here. Steph smiled widely. Bad. You are late. But now we can start. Steph, why is he here? Let me guess. You two got together. You made Jordan and Cheney believe he was your man. I've been here for maybe 10 or 12 minutes. So we're here to discuss this, right? My hand closed into a fist. I bet it got completely white. I relaxed and put my thumb against my ring. A gift from Galadriel. Power, truth, never give up. Hold on, Dave. Do not let them get you. It appears like I had to undergo a large conflict before I could speak. Jordan took charge. Mrs. Jameson, here is your man and him. He's your ally. It's not cool to bring him here. He should not be part of your marriage discussion. It's just you two. Lee Davenport froze, as if he didn't want to move or speak, like a small critter attempting to avoid being grabbed by a cat. Stephanie said, "We are soulmates." I figured this was our chance to speak things out without David losing it again. Jordan looked at me. I guess the less I talked, the better I did. Stephanie, David isn't losing his cool. He appears to be quite relaxed. Honestly, bringing this guy feels like you're prodding him and waiting for a reaction, I explained. So what would that be? Okay, this man is a therapist. You're familiar with the joke. What number of therapists are required to change a light bulb? How many do you think? A bad joke. But suddenly I had the spotlight. What's my answer? This demonstrates just how twisted up my marriage is. My soon-to-be ex-wife must be out of her mind to think I'd join her circus. I moved towards the door. I will cover this session, not the next one. And I was done for good. Please speak to Stephanie. Make her realize how wrong she is, I said. Look, he's being so ridiculous. A grown-up should stay and chat. She appeared happy. Stephanie, I hope one day you will see things properly. Expect papers at the end of the week. I am done. With that, I left. Those were the last words we spoke in nearly 6 years. Alicia Swanson moved quickly. She even obtained a court order to keep Stephanie away following what she did in the counseling center. Stephanie received the documents at Lee Davenport's residence 2 days after I departed. Stephanie fought it, but I didn't need to live in the house. My relationship with Michael and Jessica was strong. I moved to Chicago, kept busy with work, and adapted to a new place. I did not rush into marriage again. The divorce could take some time. I was finished with her. I lived freely. Stephanie did not want to sell her house. That was okay. She was not residing there, and neither was I. The house was nearly paid off. It was expensive, so I kept paying for it. Not an issue. She would have used the kids against me if she could, but they were adults. Plus, they felt she was insane. They even got those DNA kits as a big no from Stephanie. She wanted to fight. I remained calm. Alicia was correct. You cannot stay with someone who does not want to be with you. After 21 months, it was done. Steph married Lee Davenport practically immediately after our divorce was finalized, saving me a lot of money in alimony payments, cash. They separated after roughly 10 months. It appears that they prefer the sneakiness over the actual marriage. Lee moved for work, then out of state. Stephanie married again and kept him for a while. He then cheated and left. Next, she met a woman and quickly moved in. You're familiar with the old joke. What? Do lesbians go on second dates? A U-Haul? Yep. Not a good joke. Their romance died quickly. She is now seeing other men, but she describes it as a bad experience. I doubt the others are aware. Moving to Chicago helped me advance in my career, and now I'm considering hanging up my boots. Michael came to live with me after finishing school. This continued 2 years until he met a girl and moved out. They got married, and now I'm ready to become a grandfather. Jessica enjoys traveling the world, doing various occupations, and meeting old and new friends. She's not in a rush to settle down. Maybe she is on to something. Maybe marriage isn't so fantastic. I've never remarried. I continue to receive a lot of stares from divorced women my age. But I am not going back in. I'll admit that I struggle with trust, but I have my reasons. And it's not just me being stubborn. We've already got it correct. Women are fickle. Kookie gave me the ring, and I still wear it every day, and I find myself caressing it frequently for strength. I still chat to Cookie, despite the fact that we never became any closer than I already stated. True to her word, she visits Chi-Town during her breaks, and I occasionally visit her at her home. Sebastian is finally comfortable with me, but it took a few years. Oh, and she did write about me in her latest book, Dr. Heartbreak. Looked at the groups and helped them come together. People who recently ended their marriage. I was one of the interesting anecdotes she recounted on one of her excursions. We walked through Centennial Park after a day of tourist activities. There's enough to do. We visited the Field Museum and dined at Lou Malnati's. She enjoyed it, despite the fact that she thought it included too much cheese. I figured something out, I said without glancing at her. You worked out what? Your tattoo. No, you did not. Her small, sorrowful smile may have been more of a sneaky grin. Yes, I did. I do not need to guess. I am sure. No, you could think so, but I'm telling you that you're mistaken. She seized my hand. Just do me a favor. Do not waste any of your guesses. I know we've been through a lot together and have grown close. That is usual for me, but I am sure it is different for you. You believe you know me well enough, but no one does. Nobody gets it. Look, I'll admit it. Sometimes I let folks make 3 guesses and they'll never know. But doing this with you would make me unhappy. With you, darling David, it is preferable to leave the possibility open and not try. Trust me. I softly gripped her hand before turning to touch her cheek. I explained that nobody has ever guessed correctly since everyone believes it represents 3 separate things. That is not it. The same thing is uttered 3 times to make it stronger, like a spell or charm. Her eyes widened. She let go of my hand and took a small step back. What? How could you? She closed her eyes, shook her head, and shuddered. You cannot, simply cannot. I drew her close and placed my right hand in the center of her back, just where her particular mark was. I leaned down close to her ear and began humming a light, cheerful song that felt magical. C stands for cookie. That's all right with me. While singing, I drew a C with my finger along one of the 3 curled lines that formed the peculiar knot. She caught her breath. C stands for cookie. That's all right with me. The following C was backwards or twisted slightly. C stands for cookie. That's all right with me. The final C flipped over. I joined the ends of the first 2, finishing the knot. Oh, cookies. Cookie. Cookie begins with C. I traced a circle around the mark, just like she did, making sure my finger touched each of the 3 sections with each word of cookie. She was trembling in my grip. I drew back to glimpse her eyes. They were bright and filled with tears. It's like a little cheer in your head. You find it strong. That is what you shared. She nodded. The mark is your name, I explained. More like it's how you express yourself in a way that only you understand. It is who you are. That comedic character is your hero, and this is his song. Now, as an adult, you have your own powerful truth. Why can't a funny joke or a kid's song also be meaningful? You proved to me that it can. But there is more. Go on. Her voice was quite gentle. Tears ran down her face. Why do we label things with our names? What does it actually mean? It signifies that we claim ownership of these things. We stand by them. If you had another's name written on you, it meant you were present, as always. It would inform everyone who witnessed it. However, you have permanently imprinted your name on your skin. You stated that you are solely responsible for yourself. Nobody can see it. It's only for you. You've locked everyone else out. You repeated this 3 times using your own distinctive signs. When you dance, you always use a name beginning with C and choose room number 3. You are constantly reminded of the number 3, like magic. 3 is a magic number, as the song from Schoolhouse Rock states, and the letter C is the 3rd in the alphabet. Her nods intensified as I continued, and she shook her head up and down to the rhythm of my words. I can't believe this. I assumed no one knew. She trembled again. When I first saw you, I realized you were different. You'll never be someone else's, will you? You've said it a lot, yet no one is listening, right? They believe that love, or how others see love, or the desire for others, will cause you to change, but you're simply holding fast. They interpret that as you saying no to a part of yourself. I'm saying yes to a part of myself, she stated. You're correct. Nobody gets it. They claim I'm simply stuck in my awful history. Yes, what happened to me stings, yet there is no one else for me. There never was. There never will be. She peered deeply at me. It's not simply saying no, it is saying yes. I belong to myself. Finally, we are all responsible for ourselves. We're deceiving ourselves if we assume otherwise. The point is, I'm absolutely certain about it. I'm plenty for myself. Are you? You actually are. And I'm pleased. Cookie. There's no one else I'd trust with my pal. She began crying uncontrollably, clutching me tight as if I were the only thing keeping her safe in a massive storm. Thank you, she said after a while and took a few moments to gather herself. Thanks for receiving it. Thank you for contacting me. Oh, thank you for respecting it. Thank you for showing me respect. That is not something that enough people do. Not in many partnerships, I explained. I am pleased to be in this with you, and I'm happy for you. I'm glad for myself, for what you've created. Your life is meaningful. You found a reason. I'm concerned that too many of us do not do this. We simply get by and look for our own. You're correct. I believe that many of us are destined to just survive. Saving the globe is not easy. She sniffed. I am going to require something from you, Dave. Say it. Anything? Keep going. I know you'll be fine, but you'll still ache occasionally. Just keep living. Get better. Stay strong. Do everything you need to. I'll help others. Will too, but now you're prepared. You deserved it, even if you haven't seen it yet. I'm going to require support too, sure. With what? The work. What's the task? That's a lot. She stared at me. Every day, the world is filled with broken hearts. Everyone has been hurt. That sounds correct, so I need you to do what I do. Not much. Only now and then. Just enough to touch one person at a time. When it matters. Give back. You are aware of this or have passed it on. Of course. How could I? Yes, I am ready. What shall I do? Just listen. Just be there. Just get people like you did with me. Stay long enough to make an impact, even when they believe you won't. Everyone should feel heard. Everyone deserves to feel appreciated. Everyone deserves to feel significant. Dave, you can do it. Reach out to them. Understand them. Because everyone is different, the experience will be unique each time. Maybe become closer to some. Alternatively, go fishing and say nothing. Whatever it needs, whatever they require, simply be present to connect when you notice a heart in need. Keep your word. I will. Good. Helping others usually benefits you the most. You stated it on our first night together. I help others because it motivates me. So that is what I am doing right now. That is my strategy for when I retire. When I see Cookie, we talk about what we've been up to after spending so much time together. Hey, we're not young, but we're not finished yet. It's just been a couple years, but I'm on. Try number 4. Perhaps this will be the one I teach. Who knows? Life is odd. Not at all. What? I figured it'd be back before Steph lost it. But that is nice. It's warm. It feels worthwhile. And that's plenty for me. Thank you for listening to today's stories. If you enjoyed listening, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, write a comment below with your thoughts on what transpired.